Mark my fucking words. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna find out who the fuck you are. You motherfucker. You are fucked. Let this
The champ
clip
is
this one,
here.
bitches. Mark my fucking words. I'm coming for you. You are fucked. And you are done. I'm coming for you. Coming for you. I'm coming for you.
Sound good?
Coming for you.
Fair enough?
Coming for you.
Alright.
Please talk about
Boys, Joe,
I'm looking. Please talk about punk ass bitches. Please. I'm looking.
30, 40, 50, 65 boys, I'm from the bottom. 30, 40, 50, ass busters.
Ain't no clapback videos. Why? What is it that serious?
But I need boys. Please, the creator. Bless me, but I need boys. Please allow my boy sperms to go fast and shoot fast enough. Go fast enough. Please, please, the creator. Please bless me.
Mark my fucking words. I'm coming for you.
Bloodshed and bullets.
You are fucked. And you are done. I'm coming for you.
They all sold.
Dog.
30, 40, 50,
Punk ass bitches.
I'm the one.
Coming for you. You are fucked. And you are done.
Joe,
I'm coming for you. Coming for you.
30, 40, 50.
Punk ass bitches.
For masturbating in front of children. Yeah, that's so he was caught masturbating. I think he's like 35 years old.
Meerkat Mall.
I just want the bust. Oh man. Bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust. I just want the. 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 I just want the bust. I just want the eating. I just want the. I just want the. I just want the. I just want the. I am fucking based. Eating. Kiss my fucking ass and lick my balls. Fucking eating. Oh, he's doing a meme. Oh, this is cringe. Eating. I just want the bust. Oh man. Bust. Give me the monster. Bust. Wow, it's big. Bust.
Please.
I just want the. I just want the. I just want the. I just want the. I just want the.
I'm about to blow.
Meerkat Mall.
Worked at the helicopter company, helicopter support. It 1,000,000% reminds me of that.
Meerkat Mall.
Band. Gone forever. Band. Gone forever. Band. Gone forever. Band. I work for a major company, a helicopter company. It's called Aftermarket Support for Helicopters. Okay? They're flying around. Uh-oh. Things are breaking down. Parts are wearing out. We're a one-stop shop for helicopters. So I was told, we see potential for you. You're better than just working customer support. Revamp the business from ground up. You can map it out and find bottlenecks and find shortcomings and find helicopters so that our company runs more efficiently. Okay? So I busted my ass. I worked my ass off. I I did the whole work, never got paid for it. And you say, oh, it's part of the process, man. It's just part of corporate America. Fuck you. Ban. Gone forever. Ban. Gone forever. Ban. Gone forever. Ban. It happened to me. Fuck you. Why don't you listen to me? You don't know shit. It happened to me. So shut the fuck up. Why don't you listen to me? Cause no one cares. It happened to me. Fuck you. Why don't you listen to me? You don't know shit. It happened to me. So shut the fuck up. Why don't you listen to me? Cause no one cares. It happened to me. Fuck you. Why don't you listen to me? You don't know shit. It happened to me. So shut the fuck up. Why don't you listen to me? Cause no one cares.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the chocolate stopper.
All right.
Who?
All right, everybody. Welcome. This is the Swaycast on a Sunday. Man, I'm still sleepy as hell. I've been sleeping for most of the day. I got up, I had breakfast, then I went back to bed, then I got up. But you know, with these naps, when I wake up from a nap, I feel completely demolished. So I went to the store, I came back, and I'm still fucking sleepy. And it's like 3 in the afternoon. But anyways, welcome everybody. Today we're gonna finish the Joon the King Odyssey. The epic adventure that we set out on. And this part is gonna be way more entertaining than the first one. Because here we're gonna talk about bankruptcy and, as DSP has said in his own video, WWE Champions time. And the breakup as well. So, yeah, what happened yesterday? And this guy had an absolutely unhinged pre-stream. Then after that, basically he hit all his goals, which means he won. So he won. He saved the streak. The king's streak was saved. And he owned the trolls, and the trolls are seething. Okay, yeah. I guess we can get into it. I'm starting this video from around the 10-minute mark, since he is about to start reacting here. So we can just dive into it. At some points I might skip to the interesting parts, but this half of it should be all just an interesting part. But we are pretty much on the clock today. I got about 3.5 hours. So let's just get started. Yeah, if you want to make DSP pissed off and seething, you can subscribe to the channel. If you want the detractors to win, you can subscribe to the channel, you guys. And DSP is going to wake up in the morning, still hungover. He's going to open my channel and see the subscriptions have gone up by 1. And he's going to be like, oh my god, this guy has got even more subs. He's about to win. I need to take him down. And then he's going to try and teach me a lesson or something. But anyways, like, subscribe, whatever the fuck. Let's get into this.
Climbing. Can it make 1 million views by the end of the week? Because I told Joon, I said, if you really put the amount of effort and stuff into this, like you said you're going to, I think the documentary will hit 1 million views in 1 week.
Oh, also, yeah, before we start, you're gonna see on the screen the chat messages by members and also super chats and stuff. You're gonna see the message being highlighted. Let me know of your feedback for that, if you like seeing it or don't like seeing it. So it's only the member messages and the contributions that are gonna get highlighted, which is a very interactive and chill part of the stream. I finally configured it properly, you guys. It finally works. It took me a million years to do. And big ups Iwamoto for 3 months. Let's get into this.
It will be his best performing documentary of all time. But I don't know. I guess we're going to see. Okay, we're gonna see how it goes. Right now, it's a little bit plateauing, but it's still increasing. So I don't know. So anyway, oh, by the way, okay, the first tip of the night did come in. It was $2.25.
Oh no. But again, I don't understand why he thinks this documentary should have like 1 billion views or something. Because to casuals, it's like a 4-hour video on a guy that's not even all that interesting. And the first hour is just about fucking fighting games. It doesn't really pick up until around this point, where he breaks up with Panda Lee, he starts begging, he goes bankrupt, and all that shit. So yeah.
Hulk Hogan saying stuff. This is not about Hulk Hogan tonight. It's about pulling Hogan's, correct? I mean, that's what we're talking about tonight in this segment.
Oh yeah, and another thing. This is something kind of strange that I thought about recently, and I don't know why it took me so long to start thinking about it, actually. So this guy spent like a week owning the meme that he's pulling Hogan's, and he made a big clown show out of it, and was like, oh, you guys, I'm gonna pull Hogan's. Oh, brother, let's pull some Hogan's, brother. And then, in the end of the week, he just admitted to his own fan base to lying to them about that same thing. So he tried to make it seem like the trolls are crazy and stupid and unhinged for talking about this thing, and that's why he made a big clown show out of it, but then was like, yeah, you know what, they're right, actually, and I've been lying. I still don't understand why he did it, and I'm not sure he understands why he did it. I'm not sure he understands why he is doing anything recently, to be honest. Big ups Millie Away 009 for the 16 months, dude. Shout out to you. Okay, let's go.
Pulling of Hogan's, not joking about the real Hogan. So anyway, I'm not putting whatever your name was on the leaderboard. I'm just going to say Anon. It was disturbing. But thank you. That's the first tip of the night. I'm going to turn down opinions. You should be here. Without further ado, here we go. I have to deal with it now. So guess what? Sadly, the podcast has to end. I can't finish my story right now.
Phil had received a call from Panda Lee's job. She had experienced anxiety.
Oh man, we're getting right into it. We're getting right into it. The hospital story. Let's go.
And was being driven to the hospital by paramedics.
That is... Yes, that's correct. This is hard to remember.
He wants
any of this to the public. Now, only like 2 months prior...
Okay, hold on. The stream dropped off. And we're back. You know, it literally happens every time. It happens just once every single time. So I'm not surprised. It's nothing. This is nothing new. This is just what the experience is like. It's a feature. It's not a bug. Anyways, we are back. But this is a weird thing. I think the first time I'm hearing about this, they were living 1 year to 1.5 years basically as roommates. Because this guy couldn't take an L because the trolls would make fun of him. They didn't want internet drama. So they actually suffered because they didn't want the internet to make fun of them. Okay.
Or maybe even a few weeks prior to this occurrence right here. Okay. We had got engaged. All that means is we had already had this ring, which we talked about last night. It was in the documentary. That was a ring that she had wanted me to get her for an engagement. And I had gotten it for her ages ago. But we finally decided, well, let's just do it. The thing is, we weren't really being romantic at all. And we were really trying hard to maybe make it work again. So we started spending more time together again. I gave her the ring, the proposal and all of that. And it didn't work. It just didn't work. We kind of knew it wasn't going to work. But we wanted to give it one last shot, and it definitely didn't work.
But is somebody going to tell him that you get engaged when your relationship is actually going good and not when it's going badly and falling apart as this desperate measure? No, when this happens, you probably go to like couples therapy or something. You don't get engaged. You don't escalate the relationship when it's going badly. But those people, they're not very bright. It's, after all, it's DSP and a girl whose mental age at the time was probably like 15.
And basically at this point, so whatever date this happened, because I think it was like April of 2017 or something like that, we had already broken up. We had already had the big fight and this isn't working and yada, yada, yada. And basically we were already in the process where Leanna was getting ready to move out. She had already had friends who she was going to move in with. It was just a matter of finding like a way to get the stuff out of the house that she was taking with her it was already in process. In fact, we had already talked. It was going to be about a week process that this was going to happen. So we had just had this big, you know, argument, stressful thing going on like a day or two before this happened. And to be quite frank with you, I was worried something like this would happen because I figured she was probably incredibly stressed out, at wit's end, and now she's going to a stressful retail job. What's going to happen, right?
So
I was like really afraid something like this would happen.
wait, so okay, I don't think he's realizing this, but he has kind of taken responsibility for Panda Lee having a fucking anxiety attack, a panic attack, which I wouldn't be surprised to believe. I mean, it was a pretty stressful time in her life. He moved her, or at least they moved together across the country, and then it didn't work out, and now she was in an unfamiliar just environment across the country, and she had some random friends. I guess hopefully they were some good friends that she could stay with and everything. That's very stressful. And then you have to work a retail job while all this shit is happening to you. I get it. While this guy is sitting on his ass playing video games in his big house. Yeah, I get it.
And then it did. So it was like, I kind of knew it, and then it fucking happened. I'm like, oh God, all right. So now we're going to get into the real story. But the truth is, we were not together anymore. We had already broken up. And then this happens on top of all of that extra stress. It's like, oh, come on. Okay, so let's continue. I have a $20 tip.
Oh my God.
From the Greedy Squeegee. Happy to hear.
Okay, I'm gonna skip this. Shout out John Rambo for the $1. I'm surprised anyone tolerates this guy. If I did an interview with him, I would just keep calling him a fat cunt over and over again until he hung up. He doesn't deserve anything but non-stop hate. Well, it would be fun if there was an interview like that. I would like to imagine that. But he wouldn't stick around for very long. That would be a very fun time, to be honest. And shout out to Skonkgasm for the 5. He streamed pulling Hogan's and dropping $240 on the website to prepare for the upcoming lie that the Apple Store bank leaks weren't him. Is that what he did? He spent it through the website, right? Huh. But then again, he's always pretty much admitted to playing mobile games on his phone. So if he's going to be spending, it's going to be from the phone. Nobody's really buying this. Oh, let me show you what nobody is also buying. Just a real quick trip to Twitter. If you're wondering why he gave everybody this brand new lie about selling the account, and it's simply so he can say this. You do realize I already fessed up, and that account they're tracking isn't mine anymore, right? So now we just dismiss any further tracking of the spending of the account. So down from the rafters, that's not him, you guys. We lost. But it was him. And then shout out to Methberry. Am I Jooning all over Jenna? No. I've gotten over Jenna a long time ago. And she helped me do that because that diaper business, no, I don't mess with that. I don't like the diaper business, brother.
Greedy Squeegee was your name? Well,
Released her with no additional treatment. Frustrated at the lack of attentiveness, Phil said,
so now she's zonked out. She's sleeping.
She's zonked out.
Everything. She's still on the pills made her all loopy or whatever.
She's zonked out. She's on that gonk zonk.
I grabbed like chicken sandwiches and we just ate them and now she's sleeping. So that's what happened. Unbelievable. Like, just look at me. Dude, look at me. Look at my face. You can tell. This is it. Like, I'm crushed. Like, not only is my life falling apart all around me, my business is falling apart. My personal life has now fallen apart.
Bro, what do you mean? You look much worse nowadays than this.
And now this happens on top of all of that. It's just insane. The thing that really got me, too, was... Here's the truth, because I don't know if Joon will say this. I don't know if I revealed this. So, when I got the call during this podcast, okay, this emergency call from my ex's job, the manager of the store says... Your ex, well, she's your ex is Leanna. Leanna's calling for you. She's saying, "Where is Phil? I need Phil. Where is Phil?"
Well, you're the emergency contact, dummy. Who is she gonna call for? Her mom? You're the guy she lives with. Of course she's gonna call for you.
I want you to think about this. I'm going through already this breakup had already have happened.
Oh, it's all about me.
Just a couple days later, supposedly she's saying that she needs me. So my
Yeah, the panic attack is actually all about him.
fucking emotions are being torn in every fucking direction. I'm so fucking confused about what the fuck is going on and everything.
Why are you confused?
Right? And then basically to conclude the story, because again, I don't know if I've ever told you guys the full story. When we were in the hospital together, and she's there zonked out and everything, right?
Zonked out.
And I said,
I love this term.
your manager called me frantically saying that you needed me. And I want to know, like, was that real? Did she make that up? And she goes like this. She goes, and she hands me the engagement ring right there in the hospital.
Oh, that's an own.
And I'm like,
That's an own. He got felted.
well, I guess I got my answer, right?
But bro, when they said she needed you, they didn't mean like, of course he's gonna understand it in the dramatic way. She needed your support, moron, because she had to be hospitalized.
And I come home.
And then he goes to the hospital. Is like, is it true that you still need me? Are you gonna stay? Can you just, when we get home, can you finish the rest of the dishes? And then she gives him the ring. That's iconic, epic moment.
And she's fucking, we get food.
She's zonked.
Zonked out. She passes out. She's on.
She passes out.
Painkillers, whatever they were. I don't even know what they gave her. The drugs or whatever.
They gave her
Then I go on stream to tell everyone
fentanyl.
what happened, because the stream was, suspended. Everyone's wondering what the fuck just happened. Is everything okay? No one knows that we're broken up. So I didn't even say that. So I jumped on stream. Now,
Again, this is your personal business. Nobody should know this. Nobody should care about this. It's nobody else's business but yours and that lady. You just chose to make it everybody else's business because you're a big drama baby.
should I have said anything about it at all? I mean, what could I have done? I mean, it's always in retro 50. You look, hindsight is 20/20. That's what they say, right? So looking back at it now,
Hindsight is 50-50, I think.
Easily just told everyone something very personal just happened, and it doesn't matter anymore. Like, it's not your business, right? But instead, I basically laid it all out for the audience, exactly what had happened. Now, I didn't tell everyone that we were broken up, but I had told them the entire medical emergency with the panic attack and all that, and I ranted and raged about how...
Or maybe you don't even have to say that something personal even happened. You just go back to your stream and you continue your business. If you don't feel like it at the moment because you're going through some shit, you just don't do it. You just cancel the stream, and it's nobody's business why you canceled the stream. It's their business that the stream is canceled and they don't get to watch it, and that's all.
Up the American medical system is and shit, because it was really fucked up the way that they handled the situation. You can watch it if you want. I'm not going to get into that tonight. That's not the purpose of the documentary. But basically, people saying you shouldn't have said anything. Right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said anything at all because it's her personal medical history. And in retrospect, I look back and I'm like, you're right. I basically should have just come and said, you know what? It's none of anyone's business what just happened. If ever we decide to talk about it publicly, we will. But I can't tell you what just happened. I'm sorry. But instead, I told the whole story. And I shouldn't have done that at all. And that's on me. 1,000,000%. It's my fault. All right? Okay. Oh, my God. The thing is, I know if this ever happens again, I'm going to tell him, you are not allowed to bring her to the house.
You are not allowed.
No, you
Leave her on the
You
street.
can do it. You can't give her a pill. You want to give her a pill? Give her a pill. And
Give her some fentanyl and let her be zonked out.
We were both upset, for the record. We were both incredibly upset with the way they handled it. They basically went there, and she was having a panic attack, right? So they did something to sedate her. I don't know if it was a pill or whatever. They took her to the hospital. They left her in a fucking hospital room for over 3 hours. No one came to talk to her. Not even a doctor. They just left her in a room by herself for 3 hours and told her nothing. She didn't know what was going on. She was completely confused. And then after me showing up and spending time with her for like 2 hours, someone comes in after, oh, are you okay? You ready to go? What are you talking about? What do you mean we're ready to go? Yeah, you ready to go? Here's some papers on counseling if you need it. So now what, you're going to charge us thousands of dollars for this fucking stay because you decided to haul her here to the hospital, and now you did literally nothing? Do you really think she would have said, take me to the hospital, if you knew she was just going to sit in a room for 3 hours and no one was going to help her at all? It was incredibly fucked up what they did to her. That's what I was upset about, and that's what I'm saying here. I'm not saying if she willingly wants to get medical treatment, she shouldn't get it. I'm saying, dude, the American health system's fucked, because now she's gonna get a bill.
No, you just I mean, like you said that she's not allowed to get medical treatment. Just give her a pill and leave her.
In the emergency.
I mean, come on. I understand the American health system and all. I get it. It sucks. It's not great. They shouldn't have let them sit there for 3 hours. But then again, it wasn't really that big of a fucking issue that they were facing. She was resting, and if something happened to her, they would have given her the attention. There's not much they could have done in this case. And they probably had somebody that just came out of a fucking car accident that they had to attend to. Come on.
And now she has to pay it. And they didn't even do anything. That's fucked up. That's how our medical system works here. It didn't help us at all.
To some, this looked like Phil was dismissing Pandalee's issues or minimizing them, which is what he was now getting backlash for. What they didn't know is that Phil and Pandalee had broken up some time before the anxiety attack, which is also a possible factor that may have induced it.
Yep.
He announced this at the end of May. Now, for the first time ever, Phil was in Washington in complete isolation. Mockingly, a few dating adverts were made to remedy his newfound.
Oh wait, I haven't seen this. I wanna read the whole thing. And maybe you guys are gonna get something out of it too, because maybe you didn't pause and read the application. So what do we get here? Oh my god, this is kind of blurry though. But anyways, this is a dating profile for They Call Me DSP, looking for the hottest huge tits around. The first thing people usually notice about me is my real personality, closely followed by my smashing hair. You may find yourself awed by the caliber of my hair and goatee. I will be sure to bring myself well oiled to our date so that you can appreciate my body to its full.
Remedy his newfound loneliness. Then there was a song request.
89.7.
And this again, this is a classic.
We got a dedication in. These kids and their names, I swear. So, Darkside Phil wants to dedicate a song to Pandalee. He wants to dedicate Baby Come Back by...
Who would have even known this? Unless some loser does it, records it, and posts it on, like, Kiwi Farms, right?
Okay.
Like, this is such dumb, immature shit. Obviously, I didn't know anything about it. This is the first time I'm ever hearing it. Like, how is this even, like, pertinent or funny? It's just so stupid. It shows what a loser they are. No one would know about this unless they put it in, like, a troll sector.
This is so fucking stupid. Notice how he just didn't even say anything. This was just verbal diarrhea. Just because he wanted to call the guy an idiot. He straight up just didn't say anything. There was no criticism. It was just like, nobody would have known about this if people didn't make it well known by publicizing it and uploading it to the internet. Yeah, that was the idea, you know? The guy who made the song request recorded it because it was a funny song request and the reaction of the DJ was funny. And he uploaded it on the internet for other people to laugh at. That's kind of what happened, yeah.
Correct?
Player? I don't know what to say, guys.
And I don't know why he gets so mad about this when it's like some of the most harmless trolling people have ever done against them.
Anyway, here's Baby Come Back by Player, and they actually wanted me to say Baby Come Back, ack. I don't get it. I really don't get it with these kids. But yes, Darkside Phil.
No one gets it. No one gets these kids because they're all mentally fucking ill. They're asking you to do dumb shit. Their heads. They have no fucking intelligence.
What do you mean they're asking him to do dumb fucking shit? They're asking the DJ to play a song for somebody, which is something a DJ does for a living. Idiots, a bunch of idiots and morons.
Here's your dedication to...
They should have asked him what he had for dinner.
In many ways, Phil was defeated, but he would not be Phil if he wasn't persistent in getting others to dislike him. On his Twitch chat, a place only the current viewers are meant to see, Phil, in jealousy of popular creator iJustine, typed, quote, iJustine is busy getting gangbanged by EA executive staff all weekend. The only fucking reason she was actually hired in the first place, lol.
So, yeah.
It's a crazy thing to say.
Around the same time, I would say it was right around E3 time, because I think this was in reference to an E3 that year. This is just
Like, bro, how are you gonna be a fucking verified Twitch streamer with a check mark and all? Which I don't exactly know how you get it. Maybe it's very easy. But you're like an actual public personality, a public figure for like a decade straight, and you're gonna say this about somebody who's so much more popular and bigger than you? Come on.
in my fucking stream chat, and
Very professional.
My head is not screwed on right at all. I'm messed up in the head because
That was his depression.
And I made that comment in my stream chat. Now the stream's not on. This is just me like talking with someone in stream chat before my stream is even turned on. But you got to understand, my detractors literally stalk my every move.
And again, a huge deflection. Why does it matter if the stream chat was on, if the stream was on or not? He just still said it. It doesn't make it any better. I guess it's because less people would have seen it, but okay, you still said it. And you posted it publicly. Anybody could have screenshotted it, including a fan of yours.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I said that down the hallway right now, that somehow someone would hear it and post it on the internet.
That's not equivalent.
Weird it is.
No, it's not.
They screen capped it. They sent it to iJustine. Now let's see if he says that.
Prominent detractor accounts took this screenshot and were quick to not only spread it on Twitter, but also tag iJustine in it. To much surprise, iJustine responded, quote, "Why don't you stop spamming everyone? He clearly has issues." Unquote. And Phil did have issues.
That's completely true. That she actually said the most pertinent thing possible. Yes, that's completely right. I was having some pretty bad fucking issues at the time. That's correct.
For 10 years, Phil has had a dream job meant to provide steady, easy income, while allowing one to work within their own set hours. Phil, on the other hand, had nothing to show for his near decade-long residence. The stinking fact was he lost far more than he gained, and for a period he seemed starkly aware. Quote, "I haven't had real in-person social interaction on a regular basis since like 2007, before YouTube started. Once I started YouTube, that all went away. That's part of the sacrifices I keep bringing up to make this work. I can't have regular friends with the amount of time I put into this job.
Yep.
When I lived in CT, I had tons of money. As soon as I moved out here, poof, gone." Unquote. It is clear that he regrets.
Whose fault is that?
He cannot accept it is his fault.
Wrong. I don't regret my move. I do accept it's my fault. I don't regret my move because if I didn't move when I did, I never would have left Connecticut. And I might have been there in Connecticut with money, but I would have been fucking miserable because I hated my life there. It wasn't going anywhere. Since I moved, my life has become way better. One thing that he has not mentioned at all in this documentary is my back injury, which many of you probably...
The back injury.
But I had a severe back injury, a severely herniated disc between my L4, L5 vertebrae that I was suffering from in like around 2006, 2007 time. It got really bad. That's actually one of the reasons why I actually retired from competitive Street Fighter, because I couldn't travel anymore because my back hurt too much. And it was really, really bad all the way through like 2013. When I moved to Washington, I changed my lifestyle. Now there's no ice and snow. I have a garage, so I don't have to walk long distances with grocery bags and shit like that.
Oh my god.
Clean snow.
Yeah. Was it really worth the massive financial investment so you don't have to clean snow? Because this guy is acting like there was no other place in the galaxy where he could have moved, but on the other side of the country, which made it way more expensive than it should have been. He could have moved to some nearby state or somewhere. Still, I don't know how the US works in that regard, but a little bit closer to Connecticut. He didn't have to go to the other side of the country. That's just kind of common sense. And this is a weird cope about him not regretting that he moved, because the move destroyed him financially. It completely fucking clapped his cheeks. And he's still feeling the fallout from that.
Just to do anything. So basically, I changed my whole lifestyle, and now my back has healed itself. I usually never have problems with my back. Every once in a while, if I overdo it, I'll feel it, but almost never have I had an issue with my back since I moved out here. It took like 2 years, and then...
That is factually untrue. If you go back and watch some of his stuff from last year, there was one day where he woke up having slept the wrong way, and he had back issues for like a week and a half. Every day he would be crying about this. He would have like decompression breaks, like actually calling them decompression breaks, where he got up and stretched and walked around so his back wouldn't hurt as much. This whole back bullshit cope is just a cope.
Boom, fixed.
Boom,
Let's be
fixed.
honest.
Boom,
If
felt
I
it.
didn't move out here, and the whole thing happened with the breakup with my ex and all of that, my life might have been very different. And I wouldn't be happy. And right now I am very happy. I'm happily married. I have a great personal life behind the scenes. My streams and work has gotten tons and tons better. Right now I'm in a resurgence the last month, which of course he won't have in this documentary. My life is getting better as a direct result of the fact that I moved.
It's so crazy talking about having a great life behind the scenes, and then you hear the stuff they do on his day off and whenever they get to hang out, and you start thinking to yourself, what is this what constitutes a great life? Watching like 2 hours of a reality TV show and ordering food? That's what's so fulfilling? Man, your standards are so low. Because, you know, other people, especially other people his age, they go to vacations, they have kids, they actually like build a family and build a life together. And this guy is building boxes of fucking DoorDash. He's building piles of boxes. But I guess to each his own. One man's trash is another man's amazing lifestyle.
Now, the problem was when I moved, I made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision when it came to how to finance the move. It should have been done very differently. But that I own. I spent too much on credit cards. I spent too much on all this shit. That's my fault. And, you know, that was a really bad planning. I literally had a plan. So I'll rack up this credit card, then I'll balance transfer that credit card to a 0% balance transfer credit card. And when that one's about to expire and the interest will hit, I'll balance transfer to another 0.
This literally sounds like some finance fraud type shit. This sounds like something they would put you in jail for. But, you know, in America, I guess it's kind of a thing to have a bunch of credit cards because the banks love it. The banks love people being slaves to the banks. So they just let them do that. Because, like, when you think about it, nobody should be allowed to have this many credit cards. At some point, the bank that's issuing the credit card or whoever is issuing the credit card should look at the credit report and be like, yeah, buddy, you have, like, 12 credit cards. I'm not going to give you another one because, obviously, you're just in a pattern of very bad spending and very bad financial habits. So, no, you can't have it. But, no.
% balance transfer credit card.
It's actually in their best interest to give you the credit card
For a certain amount of time.
which kind of
With
sucks.
the detractors fucking with my income, as we've seen happen with the false copyright strikes and everything, it fell apart. Like, I couldn't do it anymore. And then I just had to pay minimum payments on everything, and it all just fell apart. And then more stuff happened, which I think he's probably going to cover next, with taxes and shit. It just kept compiling over and over. So that's my problem. My problem was the entire financing of the move and the way I paid for it was completely botched and done wrong. But the move itself, I don't regret at all. At all. I never regretted this move. I love the fact that I live here. It's much better than Connecticut. It's better weather. Everything out here has fixed my lifestyle and my back, you know? And I never would have met my wife either. So there you go.
That's when people...
Yeah, but of course, if you want to apply this line of logic, maybe you would have met your wife. Maybe you would have met a woman that's way better than your wife. Maybe if you stayed in Connecticut, you would have been a billionaire by now. Nobody knows. If we're going to be using like alternative history and multiverse theory, because that's not how it works. He didn't meet his wife because he moved to Washington. He met his wife because he helped her out on fucking Twitter. He didn't meet her in the Washington street market or something, or downtown Seattle. He met her on downtown Twitter.
If he maintains social relationships. Quote, I talk to tons of people on a daily basis. A user then asks, I mean like relationships or friends outside of Twitch. Phil responds, I don't have time for in-person friends.
That's correct.
I'm constantly working. You realize I haven't had a day off since my time off in July, right? This is my life, and has been for quite a long time before I moved out here.
And that's my life right now. I work 6 days a week full time. I have to make
That sucks.
to pay the bills.
Wow.
That's what I've had to do for a very long time. The 1 day a week I take off.
Like, bro, if you're going to be working 6 days a week, you better be stacking some good money. And you better be saving it up if you're going to go through all that effort. And I'm talking about like any kind of job. Any kind of job. I got one guy in the office who is literally every time I come in, he's the first guy there and he's the last guy to leave. Legitimately puts in like 12-hour shifts. But he's making so much money, he doesn't give a shit. So I respect that. But DSP, he working 6 days a week and spending his money and throwing it around on trash. Good decision. It's worth it. Especially if you're a middle-aged man. You're just wasting away your life.
I'm running errands, I'm grocery shopping, and I'm spending time with my wife. and then I'm right back to the grind. And that's been my life ever since I moved out here. There's been no breaks. I've never had a vacation in 10 years.
Why? Why not? Go on a vacation.
To get married, and I'm sure he's going to cover that. Outside of that, it's been work, work, work for me. That's my whole life. How on earth, how would I have time for friends when I have to work 6 days a week full time?
Then it got better for 3 years living with my ex. But now I'm back to square one, really. Unquote. As recoiled as Phil was, dealing with persistent copyright strikes and whatever else his life brought him, he clung onto whatever was left of his following. Typical in periods lacking interest, trolls are more likely to find entertainment from consuming one another. The reality of communities like the one that works against DSP is that they are far more nuanced that they lead on. From the outside looking in, the detractor community is powerful in coordinating their campaigns against Phil. In actuality, it is very divided. Some hate Phil, some just want to catch up periodically. The majority don't interact in any way. These differences create cyclical arguments, for example, those wanting no universal interaction with Phil. Some reasons may lie in entertainment, as Phil's passive failings tend to be the most entertaining. They could also just be aware that putting themselves out personally will lead to ridicule in a space that exploits any weakness. Or they simply feel sympathetic to his plight. On the other end, you'll have those that want interaction with Phil. These can be small by typing messages in his chat to get a reaction or requesting a song on the radio. That is the simple basis of trolling. The overall effects are minimal and hardly controversial. Then you have those that feel personally slighted by Phil and seek revenge. This is where the illegitimate copyright strikes come from. They want Phil to fail in any way, and few strategies are out of their purview. Truly, the only defense in the space is self-awareness and anonymity.
Notice how he's nodding his head off. He turned into a bobblehead when they talk about people wanting to ruin his life. But he didn't nod when Joon the King talked about how some people just casually watch him and make fun of him and are not trying to ruin his life. It's almost like he wants to frame all the people that hate him in a very specific way. Huh, very interesting.
These members lack both. And the most interesting part is all these people inhabit the same space. Whether it be the forums or Phil's chat, they can be seen arguing endlessly. It is only a community out of
For the record, Kiwi Farms are not my forums. The way he just said that, it made it sound like I run Kiwi Farms. I do not. That is a independent website run by Josh Moon. If you want to know about that, go watch the Kino Casino show that we did with Josh a week and a half ago, where I basically grilled him on it.
No, you didn't. You didn't grill him on anything.
The way that those people are just allowed to do the awful things they do. But yeah, that's not my website. The way he just said it there made it sound like he's saying, oh, Phil's forums or his chat. No, no, no. Do not even for a moment make people think that I run Kiwi Farms. Hell no.
Convenience and nothing else.
But that's not what Joon said.
Look like the sons of Kojima would sit on top of this virtual hierarchy. But in actuality, the only thing they have claim to is they're the ones most dedicated to Phil. The group watches his streams.
But dude, it's not even like a hierarchy. There isn't a hierarchy because you can't have one because it's the internet. In order to have a hierarchy with an order of power, you need to have some authority over other people, and you just don't on the internet. The most you can do is just shit on somebody.
Hours at a time to no benefit other than that claim. They are united by an overweight, middle-aged, failing, ailing creator. They were persistently hated.
Overweight, middle-aged, failing, ailing creator. Well, at least I'm happy that now I'm really not like that at all, right?
Oh yeah, not at all.
A tiny bit. I'm not ailing, that's for sure.
Really?
The last month, I'm not failing.
Bro, what do you mean he's not ailing? He had a fucking flu like a month and a half ago that went on for like 2 weeks. He had a flu for 2 weeks and he had to take like a sick day and he couldn't talk and whatever. Like, come on, every time this guy gets the sniffles, he's almost about to die, and he makes it out to be like the worst thing ever.
But you know what? For a while, that probably would have been true.
Within the detractor communities, because they...
He is the definition of ailing.
...their space somewhat represented their community, albeit not accurately. Most dedicated channels, Twitter pages, and groups made for the sole purpose of following Phil are highly scrutinized. And if they become obsessed to the point they no longer represent any niche, they will always fail. That's why the Sons of Kojima collapsed in late 2017. Their leader, Fred Fox, was highly paranoid, morally confused, overall an oblivious individual. Though he was responsible for countless hours of footage criticizing Phil, he would crumble and get frustrated at even just his Encyclopedia Dramatica. These
Oh yeah, that was cringe as fuck.
purposely inaccurate and exaggerative information to get a rise from who they're targeting. And his frustration from its creation further warranted its existence, as seen here where he is lambasting the creator of the page.
So how about this? I'll go fuck your mother for the laws and everything will be cool, right? No hard feelings?
I guess if you want to like twist
for the laws.
if you just want to twist my logic into black and white there, sure.
No, I mean that's what you're saying. You're saying you could do something if it's just for the laws. Nobody's supposed to get mad or offended.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you shouldn't take fucking Encyclopedia Page Dramatica seriously.
There are also times when they invited Mr. Medicare on, a creator well known for his banter.
Okay, how much money would it take, this is for all of you, for one of you to suck?
Dude, and this is so weird, because, like, Jim's banter is so much fun, and you can just play off of it and have an actual entertaining stream. And these dudes, they just didn't get that, and they don't realize that, and they ended up looking like a bunch of complete cucks. It's so ridiculous.
Cock. What is the donation amount that would be required for you to get on your knees and orally pleasure Phil?
Whoever asked that, fuck you.
That means he's considering a number. You went silent because you did.
I'm not gonna answer because I'm not interested in that. That's fucked up.
So you're telling me you're not gonna suck a dick for $10 million?
No.
Really? You wouldn't suck a dick? You wouldn't get on your knees and slurp up some mayonnaise for $10 million fucking redos?
I don't want to lose my dignity.
See, here's the thing. Like, the trolls that I have cannot take it. They dish it and dish it and dish it and dish it and dish it, but they have no concept of how to take it. They are good at being the punchers, but man, when it's their time to get punched at, they can't dodge for shit. They're like Glass Joe. They're like, ooh, they go down with one swing. I mean, just take a look at some of the shit that I've been doing recently with my own detractors on my channel, do these streams, and this fucking super crazy guy who are trying to do shit, and it's so easy to just turn their own bullshit back on them, and then they can't take it. They break, right? So here's a guy who literally is an internet troll. I mean, Medicare is a really good internet troll, correct? And
How do you know that?
Right back to the Sons of Kojima, and they just fucking look like a bunch of fucking dippy-doo losers. They can't even say, oh, well, I would do my dignity. You can't say shit, but you can say it all day to me because I'm not there to respond to you because I'm doing my own shit in my own life. So you're talking basically to the wall, and the wall doesn't talk back, so you're fine. But the moment that someone talks back to you,
that's true. He's right about that. He's definitely right about that.
Anyway, I just received a $10 tip.
Get him out of here. Let's continue. Okay, there we go.
Well, there you go.
I'm probably gonna skip through the whole what was that called? The January harvest, because it's just some Kiwi Farms drama. I don't have time for that today.
That's the answer. But if you notice, when I asked that question, they all went silent because they were thinking of a number. Every one of them was thinking of a number.
Some comments under this near 50-minute long video read, quote, Christ, without any DSP material to commentate over or talk about, these guys just got nothing.
Exactly, and that's exactly the same thing for every single detractor I've ever had.
Every single one.
The reason they exist is because they have me, and I don't fight back.
They exist?
So they just keep going.
This dude, and I said this yesterday, this dude is so obsessed with his internet existence that he doesn't even consider that not everybody actually cares about online cloud. And people can do online shit and YouTube shit without the aspirations of actually being a super hype big channel. And they just do it because it's fun. And it's something that you do for fun, just like playing video games or watching a TV show or something. You just can't understand it because he's just so far up his own ass. And it's so important to him to be somebody on the internet because he's nobody in real life. And that's it. It's the same thing with many other people on the internet, but DSP is just such an amazing, shining example of that.
On me, but when they get anything turned against them, they're done. And what they don't realize is if I just turn off the stream and never turn it back on, their actual pertinence to the internet vanishes instantly.
Okay.
They're nothing but
okay, make it happen. Make it happen.
That's some weapons-grade humiliation. Christ, these guys are awkward. It makes me want to like Phil if these are his trolls. Unquote. On Kiwi Farms, there is a tremendous amount of information, detailing Fred's paranoia, his coordinated attacks at former and current members, his group's campaign of copyright striking DSP via fan art, and his attempts to regulate the community besides deciding what is and isn't allowed to be monetized on the basis of moral superiority over Phil. His antics and strange history are also entertaining. That was another reason why he was exposed and why there are over 2,000 posts discussing him. What mattered to Phil was that his most persistent detractor group was no more. And on September 2017, he released a twitlonger about it. It is here that Phil revealed that Panelli's father was swatted in the past. This to him made it clear that no one in proximity to him was safe. This is the reason why he claims to have skipped Panelli's brother's wedding.
That's right.
What did the SOK do? Well, first, they decided to find out the address and date of the wedding. Yes, that's entirely true. They're so fucking sick that they, on their own and without my mentioning it...
This is interesting though. Where did he get that info from? Because I wasn't on Kiwi Farms at the time. This is way too early for me. Where did he actually get people to give him this information? How did he know about this? How did he know it was the SOK in particular? Or maybe at the time he just thought everybody trolling him was a part of the SOK, because with him, he loves to have like a united, unified, I guess, singular entity to go against. To go against like this one specific thing, because it's easier to rally the troops if they got an actual enemy that you can depict as something. So for him, it would just be very easy to say all my trolls are the SOK and we need to destroy them, and that, you know, it makes sense just logically. But in this case, I don't know if it was them. I haven't really seen where he got this info from, and I'm pretty sure if they wanted to do something with the wedding, they probably wouldn't have made it public in any sort of way, unless they're really dumb.
Months, researched and found the event, and then spread that info all over the internet. They then decided to spin it that the reason we weren't attending was because I had to force Leanna to skip it so I can stay home and play Fallout 4 to make money. They actually accused me of keeping her at home forcefully. It couldn't have been further from the truth. It was the crippling fear that the SOK themselves, who found the damn date and address of the wedding, would have swatted the wedding. That made us stay home. So not only were they the reason we missed the wedding, they then turned their own vile actions into a way to make us look bad after the fact. It's mind-numbing, isn't it? Unquote. After the fall of the Sons of Kojima, there was a rise in more passive trolling. On Phil's forums, there was a crop-up of clear catfishes that had all miraculously turned 18 years old at the time. Then there was a pirate-themed treasure map made of the places Phil frequented and it was often thought to enjoy, with the inclusion of health foods and a gym placed just out of his reach due to the uncrossable bridge of certain death.
Wow.
On Instagram, there was a new strategy of trolling through indifference. No matter what picture Phil posted, there was bound to be tens, if not hundreds of comments stating two words. Well, really just one word with two variations. Comments were either okay, okay. Without fail, these cropped up and overwhelmed any other comment.
Yeah, but I never read the comments. I'm serious. Like, when I was posting stuff on Instagram, I knew that my viewers and fans would like it. I didn't care about the comments. I just completely ignored them.
Oh yeah, he posted some really quality content.
I mean, like, they actually thought that was a meaningful use of their time, like they were trolling. I literally...
Bro, how much time do you need to post an Instagram comment? It takes like, especially if you're following him, you just open up your Instagram and you get to see that this guy posted, and you press literally 4 buttons. Well, it's not button, you know what I mean. You type okay, and then you click send or post or whatever. It's like less than 5 seconds. Oh no, my time. What am I gonna do with it? I wasted away my whole life. Help!
Not any of those comments.
Even just comments wanting to understand what was going on were met with a single response, okay. Phil even treated his audience to a pretty unique unboxing video.
Oh yes, airplane mode.
And welcome to a pretty unique unboxing video.
Hello passengers, we're boarding on flight 1651 to Seattle. I am your captain, Mr. Phil Burnell. Make sure to put your phones and yourself in airplane mode.
Phil thought that this video was unique because of what he was unboxing. What made it unique was for the first 3 minutes, his reflection was easily visible. And he was swaying left and right, and he was doing his famous T-pose. Phil had swayed much in the past, but rarely was it not in first-person view.
Oh, is that where the T-pose came from?
What? Is that where the Swaycast came from?
Yeah, I just learned that for the first time. So that's thing number 2 or 3 that I've now learned for the first time. I had no clue. The reason that I do that is because of my back. My back, if I just stand completely still for an extended period of time, I actually feel uncomfortable. Now, I'd already been setting up to do that video or whatever, so usually when I do a video on my feet, I have to move around. When I'm on the phone...
Hey, you know what's gonna help him? And he can make this into a tiered goal. He can start twerking. Twerking is gonna help his back big time, because, you know, you're shaking up your spine, you're decompressing it. You should start twerking on camera for like $200.
Start walking around. It's just natural. It keeps you so I don't have uncomfortable feelings in my back because of my back injury.
I'm not saying I want to see it. I'm just saying it's a very good gimmick. It's excellent.
That's why I do that. When I was in when I worked at Wells Fargo, one of my actual coworkers called me Sway.
Sway.
I noticed that I did that, and I was like, yeah, I have pain if I just stand still. So, I mean, there you go. Now, the T-pose is just something I do. I do it on streams too. I'm like, hey, what's up, everyone? It's just something I do when, like, I'm excited, or, you know, I talk with my hands. I stretch my arms out all the time. You guys see it every day, right? Like, literally every day.
Everyday Sway.
Yeah. But I had absolutely no clue. This is the first time ever that I'm actually realizing that that's where the T-pose comment came from. Okay.
He claims it is because of back issues.
Oh, there you go. The snorting.
The snorting is playing on what DSP claims is a post-nasal drip.
Correct.
The snorting plays into his depiction of a pig. Combined with
this is the best part.
Online and survive like a cockroach came the derisive nickname. His laugh, his sway, his snorts, all could be, and some more, made into several minute-long compilations of Phil doing these singular actions. Phil doing these actions in tandem would also gain purchase. Then there were two food-related items that always got viewers' attention. The first was sparked by this tweet where DSP states he likes penne. What he means is he likes the pasta, but in Spanish, penne means penis. The last item viewers took note of.
To be honest, I don't think people made it to be... I don't think the meme is based around him in saying, like, I prefer penne to be as in I prefer penis. I didn't think it had anything to do with that. It just sounds fun.
And what's his drink of choice?
I think gin and tonic is my drink of choice. Not every single day, but I do have a gin and tonic or two every once in a while, maybe, you know, a few times a week at night to unwind, especially if it's been a stressful day or if my back's hurting me. And yes, I do have a drink. Some gin and tonic. I guess I'll start the night right with a sip. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. I have a drink tonight. I have a gin and tonic next to me, which I'll be sipping from time to time. I won't be downing the whole thing.
It was not often that Phil drank on stream. However, this proclivity did extend outside of his streams. Sometimes the bottle or mixed drinks made his way into his vacation videos.
Everything else here, including the gin, which I'll probably drink mixed with that.
Look at this, dude, look at how much gin. This is for one person, at most two. And you know that Panda Lee wasn't fucking drinking, wasn't contributing to this bottle being drank a lot. It's just for him. Wow. You would need this for like 3 to 4 people at least.
This is spanning a 16-year history, okay? So, I mean, I didn't even document that many vacations, maybe a few. And yeah, a couple of them I had gin. Yes, I would drink every once in a while, like Joon says. It was infrequently. But this became a meme with my detractors that Phil just literally drinks gin all the time. And he even has it in the thumbnail of the documentary because of that. It's like, it actually couldn't be further from the truth.
Isn't it because you admit multiple times you're an alcoholic?
Like, I'll be honest with you guys right now. You ready? I drink probably tequila, vodka, and rum way more than I drink gin. If I drink anything right now, recently, I probably would have been having some tequila. But I don't even drink gin that much anymore. If I drink it, it's very rare. It'll be like when I'm out and I'm having a mixed drink or whatever. I wouldn't even buy it to have it around the house. But their meme, again, what happens is they focus on one little thing. Like, they hyper-focus on one little thing. Get it? They hyper-focus on one little thing. Get it? They hyper-focus on one minuscule little thing.
How is it? Bro, this guy straight up admits he's an alcoholic, and it almost ruined his life. Is that a one little thing? Almost getting your life ruined by an addiction is just a little tiny thing? I guess it is. I guess it is, if he says so.
as if it's a big thing. And then they turn it into a meme that they all repeat ad nauseum in a groupthink cultish way. So now it becomes a joke to them, despite the fact that the outside world, people will be like, why is someone drinking gin funny? All right. So one more time, they hyper focus on one stupid, insignificant little thing, and they can't control themselves from hyper focusing on it. I think some of you may be understanding what I'm getting at here. Okay, I think you're starting to see the pattern that I'm trying to allude to. All right, thank you very much. Okay, by the way, I received a $20 tip.
Is he trying to imply that they were autistic? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You're enjoying the react, or because you like my content. King streak alive.
The king streak is alive.
But now, in addition to owing money to credit card companies and...
Okay, here we go. Here we go, some money.
Okay. Sprite.
To indulge so much costs Phil a fair bit. But now, in addition to owing money to credit card companies and the like, he, in September, found that he owed money to a fierce collector.
I get this letter, all right? Oh, this is the beginning of the taxes saga, for sure. This is the taxes saga. Here we go. I get this letter, and the letter says, we suspect that you are doing business in the state of Washington under the name DSP Gaming, okay? We believe that you need to register and pay state business and occupation taxes. Please answer all of these questions for us.
Oh my god, his voice was completely cooked.
Now know the true story of what happened. Would you like to know what happened? It was my trolls. They registered my house on like Google Maps or Google Business as a registered business, even though I don't have a registered business address like that. That's not the kind of business I have. I do have a business in my name, legally registered, but it's not that kind of business. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a public business where you would have a physical location. So they posted it on there so that, you know, oh, look, Phil does. I didn't do it. They impersonated me. They actually used my information to create a fake Google like business account. They put it on my house, geolocation, tagged my house. And then they sent that to the fucking state tax group people and said, look, there's a business over there. Someone's doing business and they're not paying taxes. This is completely true. And then they contacted me because of that.
Can we prove that?
There's a Burnell Enterprises.
Yeah. Oh, is that the Burnell Enterprises meme? Epic.
Now that my trolls
Epic.
I didn't make that. I don't even know how
the Burnell Enterprises.
Because my business is...
Because, yeah, the actual business is Burnell Productions, you know.
A physical address for anything. Like, you wouldn't mail me at Burnell Enterprises here or whatever, you know. In fact, that's not even the name of my business, FYI. It's not called Burnell Enterprises.
Yeah, it's called Burnell Productions. Why don't you just say what it's called?
Notified the tax people and got me in trouble. And here's the story. Here it comes.
Phil, since he moved to Washington, had not been paying state taxes. He claims the reason behind this is because he continued to list the services of his accountant from Connecticut.
To clear the air here, because a lot of people have misconceptions. My tax attorney in the state of Connecticut was a certified public accountant, was a dean of accounting at a college for several years, and was one of the highest accredited guys in the state of Connecticut. This is not some Joe Schmo asshole who I just got. And by the way, I paid this guy thousands of dollars to do my taxes. All right. I think the most he ever charged me was like over $1,500 one year to do my taxes properly.
The importance of this is now Phil was claiming to owe state taxes since 2014. Stacking yet another reason why 2017 was the year that finally doomed Phil financially. But at least he wasn't bankrupt. The grander and more dramatic reveal this year was...
Oh, before we get into this, man, the Christmas streams of like 2017, 2018 is a classic. They're absolutely embarrassing. With the Let's Get Lit hat and begging for tips to save the house, to pay taxes, with drama, with eating, what was it? He ate Captain Crunch and then apologized on Twitter for drinking too much and being depressed. It was something else. This kind of shit that shouldn't be on the internet. It's ridiculous.
2017 was the year that finally doomed Phil financially. But at least he wasn't bankrupt. The grander and more dramatic reveal this year was of his new girlfriend. Yet the reveal photos only show the back of her head. Phil, to be able to hide a relationship for this long was surprising. A reason for only showing the back of her head was that Phil was slowly starting to separate his personal and online life, meaning that there would no longer be condo tours or virtually any videos outside of his office, save for a few additional DSP tries at videos like his attempt to recreate the virality of his Axe body scrubber video. This could only be beneficial. It wouldn't allow viewers to analyze his new purchases, his eating habits, anything that can be used against him, or even the people around him. Keeping Kat anonymous was likely Phil's attempt to protect her, though it did have its weakness and was immediately exploited.
So they fabricate this story that
Here we go.
Now it's time. I guess the taxes saga wasn't very big. It was very lame, actually. He didn't go into it too far. So this is the escort saga, which I have no involvement with whatsoever. I literally have no involvement with this at all. This is all on my trolls and crazy people. Okay. I hired an escort to come visit me during my Christmas break. I paid her. You guys like the Phil Show? Look at this. Should I get a neon sign behind me that says the Phil Show?
The Phil Show?
That background's outdated because I just changed my background.
Shouldn't it just say the name of the show, which is the Level 1 podcast?
Right? Why not? Thousands of dollars, or owe her thousands of dollars, apparently. I don't even know what the full story is because I'm not really following it.
Well, true to her word, Kimberly did know where to release that information too. Over on the forum, Kiwi Farms, a mysterious woman shows up to elaborate on what's going on.
In December 2017, a mysterious woman claiming to be a high-end escort with a history with Phil was claiming that Phil had not paid her, and if she did not receive the money owed, then she would release all the details of the event. And so she did. On Kiwi Farms, she developed a somewhat shallow story of Phil taking her out to dinner and spending a fair amount of money on her. Sprinkled in are notes about his bad credit, his disappointing manhood, and general notes on his house.
By the way, thank you to Dick Jones, who just gifted 5 memberships to the community. Thank you.
Yes. Whoa.
I did some earlier, but thank you for that, Dick Jones. And thank you, everyone. Give it a like. Here we go.
I'm tempted to skip this, but I kind of want to hear what he has to say.
But even so, we're enjoying the chaos this person was causing. But day after day of not providing a single piece of evidence and users finding strange inconsistencies in her story, it was clear that the pieces were not fitting.
No, I'm going to be honest here. This is complete bullshit. They totally entertained this for many, many months and never really complained. And then all of a sudden, like, one person actually researched it and found out the truth. And then other people started researching it and then they found out the truth. Oh, no, they loved it. Because they're going to spin it. They spin it to this day. Oh, we're the reason we found out that this was fake. I told you it was fake. I told you there's...
Yeah, but you're also a proven liar.
You made it up. But no one wants to believe Phil. Everyone wants to believe the negative dramatic about Phil. There wasn't a single piece of evidence this person ever presented that wasn't just circumstantial, and it proved nothing. But people hate me so much, they all believed it for like many months. And then after many months of this going on, someone finally wised up and figured the whole thing out. Which is fucked up that I get basically shat on for so many months for absolutely no reason and no evidence.
It was only after users discovered that the images were not of this person.
No. And you can go back to the thread. This is the cool thing about Kiwi Farms. You can just go back to the thread right now and see what happened back then and what people were talking about back then. And there's probably a bunch of videos of who was active at the time. GTG, probably who else? I don't know, Snort Burnell, but Snort Burnell has no commentary. But you can go and see what happened back then, and you can see what the conversation was like, instead of just trusting this guy. Oh yeah, Agent Proper as well. I'm sure you had a video about it. Tevin talked about it. Yeah.
Origin that she comes out and says she was hacked. It was not her at all. It was a catfish using her Twitter with stolen images. But no one was convinced. As a final hail,
yeah, this was a couple of Dutch scammers.
Fred Fox of the defunct Sons of Kojima, by taking down their website and bringing it back up with the simple Fred Fox in the heading.
Right.
It was not until this fake escort's identity was found under a different name, Angelina Capri, that the true culprits were unmasked. It was quite easy to find the domain registry, and with it came the identity. The culprits quickly tried to amend this information, but it had already been archived. The original registry had their full name, address, phone number, and their email. This gave the Kiwi Farms users everything they needed, and soon the culprits were fully doxxed, including their cat. Revealed and archived was their personal YouTube channel, one of their daughter's YouTube channels, Twitter's, photo buckets, A lengthy history of information that was more than enough anyone needed to confirm this married couple ran an extortion and impersonation racket.
Just think about that. A married couple is running an extortion and impersonation racket. And apparently what they were trying to do was get so much negative shit out there about me that then they were going to blackmail me into paying them money. What they didn't realize, ladies and gentlemen, is that they already were fucking with the most hated man on the internet, so I didn't give two fucks what they said about me. They ruined themselves by, instead of, you know what I mean? Like, they could have went for this fruit or this fruit. They touched the fucking immune fruit, the spiky ass fruit. They reached it. Oh, my hand's stuck. Oh, I can't get my hand off this. What's going on? It's a trap. It's a fucking trap. And that's exactly what happened. You can't fuck with me because I've already been fucked with so much by everyone. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm completely immune to anyone saying shit about me because you've already said the lowest thing about me possible. So who gives a fuck if an escort is real or fake? Who gives a fuck about any of them?
Well, what do you mean who gives a fuck if an escort is real or fake? I guess the trolls did. Because the trolls actually found out it was those two people. Otherwise, nobody would have ever known. And you know, I understand him denying that he got an escort because he didn't get an escort. Of course you're going to deny that. It's not true. They're lying about it. And they didn't have any proof. All they had was a bunch of like weird anecdotes about how his dick was small and he was liking getting fucked in the ass or something. Which is funny, but again, they didn't fucking take that as the truth.
Right? So they fucked themselves. Who even knows? For the record, they never actually like personally wrote me. I'm assuming that was coming. If they didn't get blown up like this, they probably would have. Or you know what? I'll say this too. Maybe they did, but I get so many fucking spam emails and troll emails and fucked up emails. It all goes to my fucking spam filter. Maybe it was just they were pinging me for months and it just went to spam, 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 and I never saw it. So I never knew anything about being extorted or anything because I never even heard from them. How funny is that? They were doing this for months for what? For nothing. There was nothing was ever going to come of it anyway, which is pretty fucking funny. Anyway, I just received a $30 tip from Guitar Player. I've never understand why people are so obsessed with your private life
because he made his private life his public life. That's why. Because he wanted to live his life like he was a fucking wrestling persona, and then that wrestling persona bled into the real life because he himself couldn't tell the difference. And then he made it all about his taxes and his bills and his relationship with Rambo and Panda Lee, and people just started watching that like a fucking reality show because it was, and it still is.
Be obsessed with my private life, except, like you just said, obsession, like illness.
Illness.
Simple. These people's lives
chillness.
I didn't mean to click that. These people's lives are so boring that they need to fucking dwell on someone else's. You know.
That's true.
Oh, come on, what is this bullshit? I want to play a $30 animation. You're gonna let me, goddammit. You're not gonna fight with me. Guitar.
All right, let's go back to the React. Now we're just typing out names on the leaderboard.
Women and using their images to create profiles on adult websites where the wife will livestream her real body and pleasure herself.
Yeah, and they pretended it was some kind of a weird like terrorist organization or something. The Son of the Falcon. Absolutely crazy.
But only reveal her lower half as to not spoil the ruse. It was only when they tried to extort Phil through a different tactic and interact with his highly paranoid community that this was all discovered. If there was any doubt left, Phil would cave in and reveal his girlfriend Kat, who moved in shortly after.
Number one, like I said, it's the best relationship I've ever been in my life.
Oh, and yeah, something that he omitted because he likes omitting stuff. What made the escort theory make some sense before it was proven it was bullshit was that, in fact, he was actually flying in a girl from across the country to be with him, and he was uploading pictures of her on Christmas and shit. So, there you go. It makes people kind of believe in that. Okay. It could have been some,
I feel like she's my soulmate.
Some suspicious girlfriend.
And I am in love with her, absolutely. She's in love with me. And if she were to move in, number one, she has a job that she, you know, can probably find a job out here similar or whatever and make income to help immediately. It sucks. I was so sick. I remember I was really sick this Christmas, but I needed to do my marathon and everything. I had to work. So here I am toughing through. My throat's all fucked up and shit. That's why I sound so bad. Number two, cooking and everything, helping with the responsibilities of the house. So
cooking.
I
cleaning.
And cook Cat did.
Yes.
The pair seemed
I love it.
Even if Cat did appear awkward and uninteractive on stream, her uncombativeness was welcome. Where this Cat reveal caused relief.
The reason that he said that, her uncombativeness was welcome, because my ex was so combative with the audience, and people were like, wait, she's like the polar opposite.
The next Cat reveal only brought frustration. What Phil was currently revealing was a sponsorship from OP Seats. The same day Phil revealed it, OP Seats terminated their contract with Phil due to the backlash they were getting.
So let's talk, because I want to tell you the full story of how I basically one prime example of why I basically cannot get sponsorships.
What?
This is it right here. Dead on, 100%. Here we go.
But he still admits that he gets sponsorship. He just declines them because he is too based for a sponsorship. Because that's going to mean he's a sellout. And he would rather ask you for money because he's the king. The king doesn't take any sponsorships, of course.
Sponsorship. And then all of a sudden, because of the actions of trolls, the sponsorship is now gone. Okay?
Even so, in February, Phil procured a different sponsor but remained with a similar product of a gaming chair. Gaming chairs across the board are disreputable for their style of function. That was not the only reason SpawnSeats, the sponsor of Phil, was getting backlash. As it was discovered, this new company was not really a company at all. It was a person drop shipping cheap gaming chairs with an inflated price. So not only did this new sponsorship fall through, the company attached to it failed along with it. Phil was hardly sympathetic.
Fact of the matter is, folks, it doesn't really affect me because guess what? I mean, I got the chair. I got the chair already. That's why I didn't do a lick of promotion until I got the chair. And I talked to the guy up front about this, the possibility of nasty shit happening. And he said, no, I understand. Don't worry, we'll put up with it. It is what it is, guys. I'm sorry, I never used that was so based. I'm sorry, that was a based comment. It's true. I told the guy up front, I was like, I already had a sponsorship with the chair company, and my trolls harassed them, and it fell through. And
it wasn't even a real company. It was some drop shipping. It wasn't an actual company. The guy would just straight up order a chair off of Wish and just send it to somebody. It literally was a fucking scam. And then he got exposed, and he closed the whole thing down because he got exposed. And if you look into the actual guy, he's been running shell companies like this for like a decade.
He's like, that's okay, we'll still handle it. I was like, are you sure? All right. I was like, all right, buddy. You're biting off more than you can chew, but whatever. You send me that chair, it's mine. I ain't shipping it back. And that's exactly what happened. He sent me the chair, and then they went out of business within like a month. And my chair it's crappy. Like the chair's not good at all.
Yeah, it was shit. It was a crappy chair, but he was ready to shill it. If the guy wasn't called out for running a fucking scam, he was gonna shill the chair and pretend like it was awesome.
But no, I take it back. Actually, now that I'm misremembering, a fan actually got me this chair, so I take that back. I don't want to insult the fan who bought this for me. The chair from SpawnSeats, yeah, it's crap. It's a crappy ass chair. Within like a few months of owning it, you know how it's the hydraulic pump or whatever's in there. It's the height elevation or whatever. You pull it and you go up and down. It broke. So when it goes up and you sit down, it goes like, dude, I only used it for like 3 months. Thing's broken already.
Yeah, those chairs are ass. Nothing new.
Pieces of shit, right? But all those suck. All those fucking chairs suck. Every one of them is overpriced garbage. I received a $6.66 tip. When I don't like something, I simply move on and forget it. Oh well, get filtered detractors.
What if the thing you don't like is just so fucking funny? Oh, speaking of which, okay, let's pick fights with children.
Novel interactions Phil has, like with this 11-year-old on VR.
It's one of the best parts.
This dude, we're gonna do this one. This is funny. Let's do it. Ready? Here we go. Sure. Where is the waiting room?
Right behind you, idiot. You click on that.
Call me an idiot. You didn't have to call me an idiot. I just walked in the door. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, if you look around, you would have been able to know.
What a brat. Is it my first time ever playing VR chat? I walk into a random room, right?
Oh my god, how are you gonna play a victim to an actual 11-year-old child? How are you gonna do that? Jesus Christ.
I'm just looking around. Like, literally, I'm just looking around. And the brat runs up to me and says, go to the waiting area. Okay, well, where is it? Right over there, you idiot. What the fuck? I just showed up. It's like my first experience ever playing this game. And this is immediately what
He's making excuses for getting in fights with children. This is primetime DSP, the ultimate DSP moment.
presented. Like, what? You heard what they said? Oh, you should look around. Well, the wall of instructions is over there. So if I go over there, you're going to yell at me and say that I'm not in line. It's like, why am I even arguing with this child? Okay, so now listen to what I say.
Yeah, that is the actual single truthful and honest thing he said this entire time. Why am I even arguing with a child? I don't know, because you're DSP. You just can't help it. That's who you are.
It says waiting room on top of it.
Wow. You're quite rude.
I'm 11. Deal with it.
Good, now I'm away from that annoying fucking bitch of a kid who I would have slapped in real fucking life if they talked to me like that.
Would have slapped the kid.
I would have fucking pimp slapped that shit out of that.
Now, do you really think I would have pimp slapped the shit out of that kid in real life? No. I would never strike a child.
You would never strike anybody in real life.
Fucking say shit to me in an online setting that I could say shit back and there's nothing they can fucking do about it.
But he didn't even say it to the kid's face. He waited until he was away from the kid to actually talk trash. A child, an 11-year-old. That's like the easiest thing you can talk trash to is a child. And he still couldn't do that. Still couldn't do that.
Right? You want to know the truth?
What is the truth? Oh, my trolls, of course.
Video saying that I was bullying a child.
You straight up said you were gonna hit a child in real life. Like, what do you expect was gonna happen? You straight up just said it. I was gonna assault this child if it talked to me in real life like that. Yeah? You said that. Did you not say that?
Okay? YouTube, being stupid, actually flagged my video and said that I had broken community terms of service.
Yeah, you actually did.
And I got it removed. I said, you're out of your mind. The child is not there. I'm not slapping a child. What are you talking about? Do you even understand the English language? So they reversed it.
Yeah, I didn't actually slap the child. I just threatened to do it. Therefore, I'm based. Sure, he is. He didn't actually slap the child. I get that. I give him that. The credit's where it's due. He did not hit a child. He just threatened to do it.
So yeah, shit like that. I'm not kidding. Every moment, everything I say on a stream, they are always mass flagging me and trying to get me into trouble for shit that I didn't do anything wrong. Like, what did I do wrong there? Nothing.
This Pokemon-themed pixel art was made to commemorate the occasion. These small moments carried Phil's live streams for 2018. Nothing individually significant happening, but enough happening to remind the internet of his existence. This all hardly competed with ongoing events, relative to the collaboration between popular live streamer Ninja and popular musician Drake.
This is great. This is great too. I'm happy he put this in there. I can't wait to comment on this one. So here we go.
DSP was practically non-existent, until he began tweeting about their collaboration, starting by calling Drake and Ninja overrated. Phil sought to detract from this collaboration, from the likes of which were rarely, if ever, seen. Tweet after tweet, he argued with Twitter users. At some point, he even slighted PewDiePie, claiming he is a product of hype and not quality content. Either of these interactions...
Now, in reality, this is probably me. I wonder, because he doesn't have date and timestamps on here. You gotta wonder, am I drunk? Just throwing that out there. Am I miserable? Am I drunk right now?
What? Am I miserable?
On my fucking social media. Fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, I think so. We're gonna blame this on the alcoholism too.
Working. So when exactly was I doing this? You know what I'm saying? It was probably the middle of the night. I'm drunk. I'm acting like an idiot, right?
Doesn't this low-key confirm that every time you see like a 2 a.m. tweet from him causing drama or attention seeking, it's him being drunk? Well, it's pretty interesting that he would immediately just jump to that.
But this is the kind of shit that they like freak out about. They're like, oh, you see, he did this, he did that. Dude, who cares? The Drake and Ninja collaboration, with so many people were like, oh my god, if Drake and Ninja are playing Fortnite, this is the ultimate crossover of all time. It will change gaming forever. So what exactly did it change? Did gaming blow up because Drake played fucking Fortnite?
No.
Ninja? No, you stupid rubes. You all buy hype. That's
But wait, who happened? Like, who is he actually talking to? What kind of a straw man is this? Who thought that Drake playing fucking Fortnite with Ninja was gonna change gaming? Like, why would you think that? That's like thinking that Craig's award show is gonna help save gaming. It's like, no, this absolutely makes no sense. But I guess it's always easy to have a straw man. Just invent an enemy that is really stupid so you can beat them, so you can look very smart in comparison. While you're drunk shitposting on Twitter. I guess so, yeah. Epic.
Been against people who are so dumb they buy hype for no fucking reason, and they think that there was zero importance to that event. They could have turned on a stream and someone farted into the fucking microphone for 2 straight hours and turned it back off, and it would have had just as much impact as the Ninja and Drake stream. It didn't matter. But everyone on the internet, oh, they're playing.
Well, something it does is it makes a lot of money for platforms like Twitch and Kick. So there's pretty regularly, there's some Kick streamer that's having some celebrity on their streams, and that gets a lot of traction on the internet. That gets a lot of money to Kick and to the streamer itself. And it makes the platform more popular. You know, it's a fucking publicity event. I understand that, but to change gaming? Probably not.
Shut the fuck up. It's stupid as shit. It didn't affect anything. Didn't help anyone but Ninja. That was it. Drake didn't need it. It helped Ninja. It helped Ninja's career.
But Ninja was already super popular.
Career was a world-shaking gaming event. Go for it, you know? I mean, here we are years later. Ninja is still successful, but he's sure not how popular as he used to be, right? Maybe if he kept doing collabs like that, he would have been. But now he's doing his own thing, and more power to him for succeeding and keeping to do what he wants to do. But no one gave a fuck about this who had a brain. Okay?
Struck a chord, or Phil was just in many prominent content creators' minds as, in not-so-quick succession, they took their turns mocking Phil. Like iDubbbz promoting the idea of Phil doing—
Hey, something I can agree with here, DSB saying. Drake is one of the most overrated artists of our time. I agree with this. I can agree. Absolutely. Amazing W take from DSB. He wins.
They took their turns mocking Phil. Like iDubbbz promoting the idea of Phil doing a collaboration with any rapper. In the background, there were leaks about Phil—
I didn't know about that. I also don't care. Who gives a fuck what iDubbbz has to say today? Take a look at that guy.
wanted to take down a video that for a short moment mentioned the escort saga. But in the foreground was PewDiePie.
You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looked like. Onion Man versus Soy Boy.
iJustine was goaded into another response from the same quote. Finally also made it into a Watch Mojo video.
This Twitch user had the back.
Yeah, let me think what is left in this video, because we have a lot. We have a lot, and here we have some zoom ins, like full screen stuff. We have, what is this, the sauce? I'm very confused about this pacing. Oh, then we have the champion stuff. We're watching that 1000%. And then we have him admitting about the whole thing, which I did talk about the other day, so you can just go watch that stream. I'm gonna skip that part. But I want to see everything leading up to that, because I'm kind of limited on time today. I got about 2 hours left, and there's another video as well. So let's skip ahead a little bit. This is what is happening here. Meanwhile, let's do some shoutouts. Big ups to Meth Bear. Observe his attitude and behavior before and after Pandali left. They weren't broken up for a long time. I don't really know about that. I don't remember how he was acting back then.
Found that,
and I'm pretty sure that if she had left, you would see a very noticeable change in his attitude. Okay, so here's where the views drop. I'm gonna continue from this point. Big ups Brotherhood of Steelman. Joon the King is on the list now. Spoiler alert, this documentary is full of lies. Well, that's why he's having a Joon on his podcast next week. Because Joon the King is going to explain himself and take accountability for all these lies and inaccuracies. You bet your ass that's going to happen. Where Phil is like, well, Joon, I have to tell you, so you had a slight factual inaccuracy here. And then it's going to be a couple of those. And then he's going to try and pressure him into making another video about DSP. That's basically about his popularity surge, and that DSP is now awesome and people love him.
1 million.
Yeah.
And so Phil did.
Because of course, he didn't rape a baby. Because that's what makes you a bad guy. If you don't do that, or don't do other cherry-picked stuff, you're a nice guy. And people should like you.
An emergency live stream.
Yeah, and I have no idea what happened there at all.
Yeah, I'm going to be on TBS today. That's basically why I don't have time, because we got like 2.5 hours until that. More shout outs. Big ups, Iwamoto. Should we feel pity for his inefficiency because he got to work like 6 days a week? No, that's his fault that he put himself in a place financially and also, well, in any kind of way where he has to work 6 days a week, because he shouldn't have to do that unless you actually love it. Like I said, the guy in the office that works 12-hour shifts, he does it because he wants to. He gets as much work as possible because he actually loves the job. And I admire the guy. He's fucking awesome. At some point, they had to straight up tell him to stop coming in so early and to stop leaving so late. They just had to actually slap him on the wrist for working too hard. Big ups Retro Jim. Now that we know he was down from the rafters, it just means he chose to spend money on champions instead of doing things with his wife. Yeah, that was an absolute decision that he made. Because if he didn't do that, he could afford to not be streaming 6 days a week. Again, this is by his admission. He did that. He owned up to that. There you go. He admitted he cucked himself. And he also admitted that other times when he was having a fundraising event, the money didn't, or at least all of the money that he claimed was going to the fundraising goal wasn't going there. He just admitted that himself. It's crazy to how much shit he admitted to. It's absolutely impressive, really. Big ups Rancord for 2 months and also 2 gifted memberships. If he pays everything, Kat don't pay nothing. Well, Kat has her own debts. I'm pretty sure about that. Somebody asked me about what I think about that. I think yesterday. So I think she has like a credit card or something, or maybe a bunch of them. Big ups Mr. Extravagant. When is my next album gonna be released? Probably not anytime soon. I don't have time for music right now. So nothing. Some of us are looking forward to it more than the Carter 7, where the Carter 7 is definitely going to be more recent than that. It's going to release sooner than that. You can bet your ass. Big ups Pesuka for the $1. Do you think a person like Phil can exist in your country? I think a person like Phil can exist in any country, and there's many people like Phil. I believe a big part of the economy works because there are people like Phil. People that are getting huge debt to banks, to the government, to the tax guy. People that are wild consumers and are super impulsive with their purchases. That's kind of the cornerstone of capitalism, really. Having people like that can be exploited, that are so gullible, that they make the whole system work. So yeah, a person like Phil can exist all over the place, in any country, and there's millions of them all over the world. And big ups Retro Jim for the $2. Felted by a child. He absolutely got felted. He got quilted. He got owned. And that child was absolutely based.
My only guess is that once again, somehow YouTube kind of blacklisted the channel and didn't put it into the algorithm. Because I'd worked hard since 2015 when I had those false copyright strikes to bust my ass, to keep putting out content and stay the course. Really, I did. And for some reason, all of a sudden there was another big dip in views, and it didn't make sense. Like, where'd this dip come from? It doesn't really make sense. And by the way, it happened again last year too. These dips just happen. I didn't change my content. I didn't piss anyone off. There's no giant controversy going on or anything at the time. It just happens out of nowhere.
Your content is just not good enough for the present year.
Is this going to be the beginning of the emergency streams saga, perhaps? Let's see.
Trying to brainstorm.
Maybe I'm trying to pinpoint in which time frame his current content would have been successful. Probably like 2011, 2012, 2013, somewhere there. It's just so antiquated and the format is just so boring, and his personality just drags it all down. Because people nowadays are looking for some more energetic type of content, something that you're either going to be like actually chill and relaxing, which he isn't. His idea of chill is just being boring. Or you're either going to be like super energetic and hype and fast paced. There's kind of like to have a middle ground will require you to have a very engaging personality, which he doesn't have. What is engaging about him is all the ways in which he is negative and manages to piss people off. That is the most engaging stuff. Because, a couple of months ago, when there was no drama that he was involved in and all the streams were basically like, he would make like $50 and just be doing his regular gimmicks. It was the most boring shit ever, even to his own fans. Because the gameplay would just be him getting handheld through an entire game, as usual. Or he would play Street Fighter and get mad with the same old excuses every single time. And even for his standards of unhinged, he was fucking boring. It was just actual, like, nothing.
Goat sympathetic viewers to help with donations. Provided was also
which was that was lucky for me because I didn't have much time or desire to be making stuff about DSP back then. And yeah, but I do now, which is cool because now he's crazy. Yay!
Advice. A common recommendation is to get a job outside of content creation. Phil, not wanting to consider this option, had these messages delivered in rather creative ways. Phil, being a fan of the WWE, reacted to this person holding up a sign that reads, quote, DSP get a job, unquote. This was not even the first time this happened. Last year, a person held up a similar sign, though less legible. Phil opting to continue streaming to dwindling audience would suffer the consequences of dealing with his remaining audience. These are superfans that stuck with him regardless of countless examples of Phil's ill will, and on the other side are his most persistent trolls that remain even after the majority of trolls lost interest in Phil's cyclical nature. On the other side was a user known as Tutankhamun, or Tut for short.
Ooh,
they came in donating thousands of dollars, but also used the money they donated.
I don't know why he always calls him King Tut when Tutankhamun's name was just simply Tutankhamun, just straight up.
Leverage, as they could circumvent what will get a normal person banned simply because of their influence. But even Tut pushed this beyond what Phil could endure. After creating much unwanted attention for Phil and Phil pushing back, Tut threatened to charge back the money he donated. A chargeback is when someone donates money, gets the desired effect of having the streamer read their message, and then, in a later date, petitions PayPal or whatever financial medium they're using to get their money back. This is done by stating that the money was fraudulently sent or by other dishonest means. And Tut did try to charge back some of that money, only to fail as PayPal sided with Phil. This was a victory for Phil, but in the grand scheme of how much he was bound to owe, it didn't seem like much.
In addition to my normal income, I need to raise about another roughly $16,000 between now and April.
This deep sigh, the deepest sigh ever.
A person that petitions, guilts, or even demands donations from their audience. While it is normal for streamers to subtly stimulate donations through appreciation, Phil's tactics are more direct.
So, oh, excuse me.
Is he gonna try and debunk being an e-beggar?
You know, now it's 2024, correct? It is 2024, and basically today, as you guys know, over the last several years, I've tried to change for the better. A lot of people have called me out for being bad to my audience, including Moist Critical did it live on a stream. Okay, hold on. I do want to say something at length about this. Okay, and basically in the last couple of years, I've had a real kind of revelation about all this, and I agree now. Back then, again, I didn't because I was stupid. And I was scared. I was in financial distress. You know, literally sometimes I was going paycheck to pay for stuff. This is leading up to my bankruptcy saga, which is what's going to be next, I think, in the documentary. And essentially, now I've tried to be better, okay? But back then, I will 100, 1,000, 1,000,000% agree with my critics. It was obnoxious. It was way over the top. It was fucking insanely annoying, right? When you tune in.
Notice how he doesn't specify what time he was talking about. Are we talking about 2018? Because he was a filthy, disgusting beggar in 2023. He's had multiple filthy, disgusting begging segments in 2024. Where he was talking about, oh man, something broke in my house. Oh man, I gotta be able to afford my day off. It was like the same thing. The actual same thing. There was some downtime after Moist Critical embarrassed him and pointed out to like 1 million people that he's a fucking disgusting beggar. But still, he's back to this. And nowadays, he doesn't beg as much, even though we still have begs. You saw that yesterday, literally. But now the beg is like, we have to beg so the trolls can be mad. It's not even like I beg because I need the money to pay my bills. I beg because other people have to be mad about me getting money. So yeah, epic. And again, the only losers in this situation are the people giving him the money. Because like you're falling for manipulation. You're just straight up falling for it. And this whole thing of like, I'm having a revelation, I'm a changed man. You're a 42-year-old man. I would understand some big shot 18-year-old, 20-year-old streamer telling that because they're really fucking young. They're like actual kids who just fell into a bunch of popularity and don't know how to use it. This guy's been on the internet, popular on the internet for like 10 years, even more. But sure. He's good now.
You want to be entertained. So the entertainment should be henceforth coming first. Not, by the way, guys, I really need you to pay me today. I really need you to, you know, make sure that I don't lose my house and I don't fucking have a problem with this or that. I need to raise this much in a certain amount of months. People want to just lose themselves in entertainment and not think about their own personal trials and things. So if they're coming to your stream for that, why do they want to hear about yours? Correct? I took the opposite attitude. I'll be transparent with the audience and tell them all of my problems, and hopefully that will convince them to help. No, the audience just wants to have fun. And if the audience is having fun, then they will reciprocate with financial support. You see? Now, like I said, I was desperate.
This is really funny because this is exactly the same thing he said while he was begging back then. Exactly. Like that was his actual reasoning to beg. He would start begging about it and be like, oh, you guys, I have bills to pay. I have 2 big bills and my mortgage and my internet bill, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 minutes later, he would say, but I don't want you to give me money for that. I want you to give me money because you enjoy the content.
A really bad life situation for several years there. And I had a bunch of big problems. All right. I admit it. And now things are very different. This last month and a half, things are exploding and I don't really have to worry that much anymore. So you notice I'm not doing it, but I've already made changes. For example, right? We used to have monthly celebration events based on the number of members that I had on this channel. Okay.
Yeah.
I got rid of them. I said, you know what? Instead of motivating people to...
Do you know why he got rid of them? Because he had to literally paywall a Christmas event because he didn't hit the members goal. Christmas was canceled because you didn't give him enough money. And then once he didn't hit the member goal, he was like, hey, you know what? We're probably not going to be hitting it consistently, and that's going to make me look bad. So I'm going to get rid of it. Just go back then and watch the pre-streams from then. It's exactly what happened. You can just go and watch it yourself. It's all still public.
Become a member to do an event. Let's just do the event. And if people like the event, maybe they'll become a member. See? It's the opposite. You give the content they want, and then they'll support instead of saying support, and then I'll give you the content you want. I reversed it, and that's been for a year and a half, 2 years we've been doing it like that. So I'm making these changes slowly to try to make the content less about screaming at the audience for, hey, pay.
Now the content is screaming about duty and screaming about what the detractors did on any given day. You realize that? That's what the pre-stream was yesterday. He had a detractor update about them harassing him into deleting a tweet. But then he apologized for the tweet he made, and that's why he deleted it. And it's like, okay, so they harassed you because they're idiots, and they unrightfully, is that even a word? They erroneously made you delete a tweet, but then you apologize for the tweet? That kind of means that you admit that they were right. I don't know. None of this matters, actually.
Pay. But it's like the guys at Kino Casino say, ask and you shall receive. Every once in a while, bring it up. Right now, I take a look at the stream. We got over 1,100 viewers. We have 250 likes.
Yeah, nobody, well, maybe some people did, but they would be wrong. People don't usually have a problem with what is referred to as a call to action, because you get this on any website ever. You get this on any platform for videos, for streams, for whatever, ever. It happens. It's like, buy this, click on this, do this. Hey, if you want to support the stream, buy a fucking t-shirt or whatever, or send a super chat. The difference is injecting your personal life into it and injecting some talking points that are going to get people sympathetic towards you so they can give you more money. That is the problem, is exploiting people's weaknesses and sympathy so they can give you more money. And this is what makes DSP actually fucking toxic in that regard. Because with him is not, if you like the stream, drop a fucking like or send me a super chat and I'm going to give you a shout out. with him is like, I need to pay my bills. So please, this stream has been slow and we had a couple of slow streams. So man, I'm starting to get concerned that this might become a pattern. And there's dozens of daily raps and pre-streams and unrecorded begging segments that are exactly what I just said. Exactly like this, beat by beat, bar for bar.
300 right now. If you guys are watching this stream right now and enjoying, please click like. It helps this channel tremendously. It helps me. It makes more content to be made, right? Please do some super chats, maybe some gifted memberships to the community, and let's hit this tips goal right here.
Yeah, this is fine. What he's doing now, it's fine. Everybody does that.
Let's felt my detractors. You see, you get hype. It's positivity. When you spin it like that, instead of, oh, woe is me, I need monies because so I have bills to pay, and no one wants to hear that shit, right? But I've learned through experience. All of this criticism of me doing this so much in the past is 100% correct. But I know that now. You only know that once you go through doing the wrong thing, learn from experience, and then change for the better. This was the wrong way to go about it, and now I agree with all of this. It was fucked up to go do it this way. Taxes are going to be my main thing I have to figure out this year. Making enough money not only to pay the bills, but my taxes are coming up, and right now I'm focused on just getting through this year. Hopefully being able to pay my taxes somehow. I'll be honest with you guys. Yeah, taxes are always something that are on my mind. I've got tax payments due. My state taxes are due in January. My federal taxes are due in April. If I could get through paying the taxes for next year, the federal taxes, their taxes were high. Things like tip goals and the like on stream to try to raise funds for my taxes and all that.
This very much works. In December, Phil's relentless discussions of money launched him into the 4th highest number of Tier 3 subs. These are subscribers that cost $25, and somehow Phil got 204 of them.
Yes, because this was one person. This was one incredibly generous person who came on Twitch and gifted all of those to the community. Actually, we had more than 204. Did we not? Didn't that person come on and gift like insane amount? I think they did. I want to say they gifted more than that. Maybe I'm just misremembering because it's been so long. But yeah, like they came in and they just gifted like crazy. It was wild how much they did. And it was within like 2 weeks they did it too.
With an average of 372 viewers means that each viewer paid on average $13 solely.
So just think about that. That was what year is that? We're talking about 2018? So in 2018, I only had 372 viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, right now I have 1,142 viewers.
Whoa. Okay. I'm sure they show up every day and not just for random drama streams that you do, that you hype up for months. I'm sure they love this. All these thousands.
I'm just saying, the eternal, downfall of Darkside Phil. I'm just saying, I think things have changed, but it's been a recent change. So I don't fault Joon for calling the documentary this, but I get it. Like, it really did look like it was down. And
well, how about we see if this change is going to last more than a couple of weeks before we call it a redemption? Let's see if those people are going to stick around. Let's see if DSP is going to keep being positive. Or it's all just a weird publicity stunt from people that are gassing him up just so they can watch him be unhinged. Which it totally isn't, by the way. Totally.
All of a sudden, now I've got this resurgence. But I'm just saying, that's a kind of a flip the other way, don't you think? By the way, I received a $20 tip. Bring back the $18,000 goal, someone says.
Okay, so you got some begging here. What did he put on full screen? I want to see the context.
Here's the endless loop of what happens with me is that something happens that's positive, right? My detractors make something negative about it and accuse me of something. And I stupidly buy into it hook, line, and sinker. I go on stream and I say, hey, everyone, this is blah, blah, blah. And if I just kept my mouth shut, no one would care. But instead, I open my mouth to directly respond to the detractors.
Isn't this exactly what he's doing to Duty? Because he's falling for Duty's bait, and then he starts watching a Duty video, and then Duty privates it live, and then he has a big, like, hissy fit about it. He did that, like, this week. Or was it last week? It was still... Oh, man. Oh, if only this guy followed his own advice, he would be amazing. He would be the GOAT.
Fucking time that I usually have done that, it shoots me in the ass, right? every single time that I did that, it's like, haha, see, we got him. So you heard what I said there, correct? I said every single dollar that we raised during that marathon has gone to taxes. Let's continue, and I have some shout-outs to do, but let's continue. Let's finish this point first, and then I'll do the shout-outs.
Now Phil is reasserting that all the money went to taxes. But later in the day, he states that was not the case.
Yep, and I did.
And again, this is important, especially with DSP, because this guy lives and dies on semantics. If you tell him that he begged on a specific day, and you are wrong about the minute and second in which he begged, he's going to use that to dismantle your whole argument and make it seem like you're crazy and insane. He's Mr. Semantics. So that's why you should fight semantics with semantics and always pick apart everything he says if he's going to do that same thing to you. And that's exactly how people came down to the conclusion that he actually is down from the rafters, and they debunked him. And he will now be eternally debunked. And felt it.
I did 2 different marathon events, all right, that raised, in total, if you actually look at the amount of tips that I raised that can go towards these taxes, was around, I think, I want to say just under $2,500. But also what people need to understand, which they don't, is that normally I raise tips, and normally tips go to paying bills. So even though I raised $2,500...
This is so fun watching himself beg like a dog. It's so fun.
I had to just go to pay my monthly stuff normally.
But it was years ago, so it doesn't apply, obviously.
And so, oops. So if I kept my mouth shut and just said, thanks for all the contributions, it would have been done. But the moment that I opened my mouth and I said, well, every single dollar that was raised went to taxes, that was a lie. Because in truth, I still got to pay bills. I still got to buy groceries. I still got to do my usual shit, right? When I did that marathon, that would have been a day I normally would have worked and raised some money to do those things. So in reality, I'm fessing up later in the day. Well, the truth is not all the tip money went, or not all the money raised went to tips. Immediately, you got caught. You know what I'm saying? You got caught, Phil, in a big lie. You said the money was going all to the taxes, and instead you spent it on other things. It's like, well, you got me. You're right. Because I was dumb, and I bought into it, and I opened my big stupid mouth and said something dumb that was not true. I got goaded into it by my detractors.
He got what? He got goaded into lying? Wow, this guy is such an honest guy. People goad him into lying.
I'm number 1 zillion where I'm a dummy and I got fooled again. It's a pattern where they goad me into doing something. I take the bait, and then here we go. I'm a dummy.
So him reacting to this is so great because he admits he's an idiot. He admits he's a liar, which is basically what people have said about him for years. His actual detractors have said this for years, and he just admits to it. Yep, what they've been saying is true. But you know what's not true? I never had an escort. Okay, I give you that. You never had an escort, Phil.
Right? If I just didn't say the exaggeration that every single dollar goes to taxes, no one would have cared. It's only because I opened my mouth that then that happened, right? Okay, we have a significant amount of shout-outs to do, and I don't know why they all have come in right now together.
Okay, I have a significant amount of skipping to do. So what are we doing here? Oh, this is when he sent Joon the King the DMs. Okay, get a load of this shit. This is fun. We need to watch that.
All my fault. I misspoke.
He misspoke.
It's totally 100% on me for misspeaking like I did. I should have been more upfront. I should have been more transparent, and I wasn't.
Notice how when it comes to him and people talking about him, nobody ever misspeaks or makes an honest mistake. They all are maliciously targeting him and lying about him on purpose and making up stuff for other people to believe. It's never anybody else misspeaking, but when it comes to him, he made an innocent mistake. He's a fallible human. He misspoke and said something that he shouldn't have been because somebody else told him to say it or they goaded him into saying it. Yeah, very fair. Very fair.
This contradiction seemed too great, so I asked Phil about it. Phil responded with a superbly long-winded response. His answer is buried in this.
He gave him like a fucking War and Peace. He gave him the Da Vinci Code, man. Look at this fucking novel. You notice the contradiction because I misspoke. I can't deny it. I said that all the fundraiser money was going to my taxes, but it not. Every day that I worked, blah, 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 my bills, blah, 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 my taxes. Like actual paragraphs.
Line. 2 words in his 357-word response. Quote, I misspoke. Unquote.
Because I explained the whole situation. You keep in mind, Joon asks me a question about it. I don't even know what he's talking about. I think he sent me a clip, and then I had to watch the clip, and I don't know what else he knows. I don't know if he's watched other clips around it. So basically, I explained the entire situation around it, and then I said I misspoke, right?
Meaning that he misspoke about all the money going to taxes.
Correct.
What I failed to mention was this was not the only piece of evidence I had reconfirming that all the money from his fundraising would go to taxes.
But again, as I've already said, I can assure all of you that there was no deception whatsoever on my part outside of the fact that the wedding existed. All funds that I raised for taxes and the like are going towards taxes. In the back of my head, see, because here's the thing. I always have things going on in the back of my head that I don't say. And that's
okay.
In the back of my head, I'm thinking,
everyone has that.
That even though I'm doing a fundraiser for taxes, I still have to eat this week, right? Like everyone knows that I still have to pay for my car this month. You know, I probably have to put gas in my car this month.
No, but everybody knows that. You don't need to say it. Like, that's pretty much like obvious. And I know everybody listening to this, you probably have some expenses monthly. That's just kind of something people assume by default because it's a normal thing, especially for somebody his age. So he doesn't actually need to say he has bills and tips and whatever the fuck. But when you say all the money from this thing is going to this thing, that's what people expect. Nobody didn't think DSP didn't have to pay for his car.
Or this week or whatever. I probably have to pay my mortgage this month. I have to, you know what I'm saying? But the problem is I didn't say that. When I outright say every dollar of the fundraiser is going to taxes and then it doesn't, that's on me. I should have been way more transparent. I should have been honest with the audience. And I'm thinking, oh, it's common sense that everyone would know that. Not everyone is me. Not everyone lives in my shoes and understands my perspective. So I have to be transparent. And I've tried to learn to do that better, you know, since. But Joon's got me. I told you. He's got me 100%. 100%. It was me basically the entire way saying one thing and then doing another. Red-handed. Not a dollar. Not a single dollar that was supposed to be raised for taxes went towards anything during this wedding or anything. Nothing.
The clear answer is Phil lied.
Because, oh, and by the way, because remember how the situation started? Everyone said that all the money raised for the taxes was going towards me going to Connecticut to get married. Not a single dollar raised during that event went to the wedding.
But that's how it looked like. Really, that's exactly what it looked like. Because, and I remember what was happening back then. Even though I didn't have my channel, I was still watching the Tevin stuff, and Tevin was watching him on a very regular basis. So I remember almost on a daily stream basis what happened. So this guy was fucking losing his mind begging for money. He was so broke, he almost couldn't afford to breathe. He couldn't afford to pay attention. And then one day he's like, yep, I'm going on a vacation, guys. See you next week. And then people start thinking, naturally, that's what you're going to start thinking. That's common sense. You connect one and one together and you make two. And you're like, oh, so this guy just begged for a bunch of money to go on vacation and visit his parents. And I trust that he didn't spend that money on his vacation because it's much a better bargain for him to make his parents pay for it, which is truly and obviously fucking pathetic. But I don't think he lied about that.
All of that was paid for by my parents, 100%. So the lie that I'm telling is, oh, every dollar went to taxes, but actually it went to pay for some regular stuff too. The lie that the detractors are telling is, well, he spent all the tax money on the trip to get married. So that's why I'm acting like this. I'm feeling ultra defensive again. Again, the bait set, and I take the bait, and I stupidly fall for it.
Middle-aged man getting baited.
I didn't spend any of the money on what they were saying.
Not just getting baited by, like, looking stupid. He didn't get baited into saying Arnold Filzenegger or something. He got baited into lying to his audience. That's the type of shit you can easily get him baited into doing. It's almost like he's a liar, and it's very easy to him to lie.
It was a different lie entirely that was actually taking place. That's a lot more reasonable to explain away, but it's still a lie.
The money raised is unaccountable. What few people knew at the time was Phil had a 10-year plan. In a conversation with his mother, who had bailed him out previously and delayed a potential bankruptcy, Phil was presented with two decisions: file for bankruptcy or develop a 10-year plan. This 10-year plan was meant to phase him out of content creation into a more traditional job.
Okay, so the general explanation makes sense. Let's see where he goes with it, because I don't know if I need to clarify it all. Okay.
No, you just straight up said that on stream. I can just pull up the stream where he said it. It was exactly as Joon said. The 10-year plan was because his mama told him that streaming is not good for him, and it's not a thing that he has to do long term, because at some point he can't afford to stream 6 days a week because he's going to be a 50-year-old man or a 40-year-old man. So he needed to phase out of it and just find a job and get on his feet and whatever. And that was good advice from Mama Burnell.
Okay.
It was even clear to his family at this point that his online presence was only causing trouble for him and those surrounding him. Even now, there was an uproar of displeasure where a few mods were rebelling and leaking private chats and other items surrounding Phil due to his recent lies about where the marathon money was going. Phil did not understand the depth.
But they believed that the marathon money went to my wedding, which it didn't. They believed the detractor lie. They weren't upset that I said all the money's going to taxes, and then I said, oh, actually, I spent some money on groceries and shit this week. That's not what they were mad about. They bought the detractor lie, hook, line, and sinker, that I spent money on the wedding when I didn't.
Of this backlash. On the flip side, Phil did not understand goodwill either. On May 9, 2019, Phil tweeted, quote, took a day off the entire internet, but hashtag pro-Jared hilarity was at the top of everyone's Twitter feed. Haha, whoops, unquote. Now that pro-Jared was going through his own controversy sparked from his lewd Tumblr and confusing open relationship, Phil jumped in on the anti-pro-Jared bandwagon.
But the only reason I did is because, look at the tweet below. He had crapped on me many, many years earlier, and I literally never clapped back. I just sat there and I bided my time. And then when his moment came, oops, maybe you shouldn't have said anything, because if he hadn't, I wouldn't have ever said a word. But it's his own fault.
After this...
Yeah, and to be honest, what Pro-Jared did is far more embarrassing than what DSP did. But it's even more interesting. Even though Pro-Jared did it, he actually got a rebound from that, and now he's back to making the videos he's making and just doing his online career and being more successful than DSP, which is fucking crazy, because I remember what kind of pictures I saw, and I cannot unsee those pictures. Much like how Null can't unfuck Jenna. I cannot unsee those pictures. Oh my god.
Successful tweet, Phil went on a stream chat and simultaneously downplayed and exaggerated the success of the tweet. By the 11th, Phil was so confident that this tweet was bringing him the goodwill of the internet that he made this.
I don't believe that at all. Let's see what he says. The reason I'm doing this is because in the past couple of days...
Oh, straight up debunked immediately. Not even 5 seconds after he said it, immediately debunked.
The internet at large has finally kind of turned an eye to me for the first time in a major way in a long time, in an actual positive light. I do remember this. I'm not kidding you. After I made that tweet, and that tweet actually kind of went viral a bit, we had big content creators were retweeting it and shit and laughing at it. I was getting messaged by people I hadn't heard from in like years. And they were like, Phil, I've heard you've been down on your luck lately, but wow, you really got him, because, man, he shat on you for no reason years earlier. That was a good one, and I wish you the best. I was, like, getting messaged by tons of people. People were laughing with me instead of at me for a change. And I was like, oh, people are actually laughing with me instead of at me for a change? Well, maybe I'll try to take advantage of that, now that a few more people are checking out my content.
This video is titled, DSP Tries It, Debunking 7 Years of Slander.
And it didn't work because no one cared. Seriously, no one gave a shit about this video.
In the 2-hour video, Phil took a cursory glance at some of his controversial moments, like the time he said Minecraft was stupid, dating Panda Lee while she was 18, or...
And now the only thing left for me to think about from this current saga of the internet liking him again is when we're gonna go back to level 1. When are we gonna go back to that, and how is he gonna justify it? Because even if he retains some of that viewership and some of that level of support, he is inherently not entertaining enough to just hold people down without having some weird publicity stunts. So he's either going to be doing weird publicity stunts until he officially jumps the shark and people just don't care about it anymore and the diminishing returns are just too big for him to keep doing it. Or we're just going to go back to playing video games every day and begging for tips within like a month or 2 months. But at least now we have something to look forward to and some kind of a mystery to be resolved and in the end of this season.
explaining the escort drama that had long been proven false. Lacking here was everything else, from his financial woes, his treatment of his audience, his lashing out at other creators through minimizing their achievements or insulting them altogether. Phil's video was completely lackluster. Even a successful video dispelling his controversies would not change the fact that the reason people watch Phil is to laugh at his antics.
Absolutely right. He's absolutely right. A couple more shout outs here. I got a $2.14 tip.
All right, I think we're gonna skip to the next part because here we basically said everything. He might have said something about Jasper, but I'm legitimately low on time, so I can't do that. We need to go to the bankruptcy stuff, and then there's another part to this. So yeah, this shit gets crazy. Big ups Copeside Phil for the $2. Willingly admits to 3 a.m. drunk tweets. Also known as the gin tweets. People have been speculating this for years of him making random drama tweets in the middle of the night. And well, he just straight up admits it. Hey, have you guys considered I might have just been drunk and shit posting on the internet? But I thought you have no time for anything because you're a very busy guy. Why would you stay up until the late hours of the night to be shit posting and making drama? I don't know. Big ups Ames 32 says, but Phil, he can't, he can't struggle at all. Well, he's struggling. He used to be struggling, but now he's back. Now the king is back. He's not struggling anymore. Now you're struggling because you're a detractor and you're coping. Big ups Redbird for the super chat. Why does Steel Toe Aaron get away with begging? Well, because he needs to finance his lawyer because he's being sued right now. His mugshot is hilarious, by the way. This whole the whole vortex around Ricada is insane. It's actually everybody is completely falling apart. It's wild. Big ups Copeside Phil. At 42 years old, he learned not to beg people. Yeah, after being in the sphere, in the business for over 10 years, you can even just say like 15 to round it. He just learned that certain things make you look like an idiot. But then again, it's the trolls that bait him into this. They goaded him into making himself look like an idiot. So, rip. And big ups Copeside Phil again. 450 viewers yesterday, but he's way more popular now. And the videos aren't getting views either. It's not like the videos are successful or people are actually supporting him way more in terms of like the video views and enjoying the videos. They're still fucking washed up. The only time he gets any kind of hype is when he does weird drama stuff and capitalizes on the Kino cucks. But of course, he never murdered anybody or did specific things that other lolcows who are actual criminal degenerates did, so he's not a lolcow. He's actually a very good guy. Completely redeemed. Okay, let's skip to this part. Oh yeah, so this is the Kiwi Farms drama. I'm just gonna skip this. We might come back to it in a certain other point, but it's just going so off topic that it's crazy. And this is the bankruptcy. Let's go right into that. Because here we might need to stop and talk about a bunch of shit. Bankruptcy, and then we go into WWE Champions. So if I have time for this, I might actually be satisfied, because I got about an hour and 15 minutes. And then he does the whole admitting he's down from the rafters, he sold his bank account, he sold his Champions account, he lied to everybody, he committed bankruptcy fraud. This is where he admits to all of it.
Do ya?
The bankruptcy forms made it into the hands of the detractors. In these dense, lengthy legal forms were revelations that finally, among many other things, put a number on Phil's total debt.
Now, here's the thing. Like he says, they made it to the hands of the detractors. Yeah, because bankruptcies are public filings. There's no way to hide it. Anyone who declares bankruptcy, it's a public filing, and everyone's going to see the information, and I knew that. I talked to the lawyer about it, and we got to be careful about this because people are going to be having scrutiny all over this, right?
The unsecured creditors on page 20 list all of Phil's unsecured claims, so items that had no collateral such as personal loans and credit cards. The page 1 of 7 on the bottom right corner was already hinting at the sheer amount of debt Phil had incurred. The only thing more impactful will be going through all the individual accounts. And so, number 1, $1,100 to an American Express card. Number 2, $6,000.
I guess I can just skip through this because it's just reading through all his debt.
Bank. Number 10.
As he's wiping his face.
Number 13.
Oh, okay. Punch number 1. Evander Holyfield just gave me a gut check. Okay, let's continue.
This comes to a grand total of $131,550.28. The secured loans, loans with collateral, include his car and Washington condo, which was now his only condo. To add to this, on page 19, readers could see Phil still owed over $100,000 on his Connecticut condo, in which he originally purchased for $131,000. This means he was paying the minimum, or if he really wanted to, he could have paid the entire thing off and lived there within just a few years of purchasing it. Instead, he is now here, 11 years later, owing the IRS $15,000, having virtually no credit, being stripped of what little he accrued and being returned back to nothing.
I had absolutely zero, a complete negative, zero value. Even with me owning this place here, I, still, owed the mortgage and everything. I had zero value in anything. I had nothing to my name whatsoever.
Oh, man. What does he have to his name now? That's the more interesting question. Now that the bankruptcy went through and he's happy and successful, what is in his name now? A redemption arc on the internet? Maybe? I actually don't know. I'm genuinely asking. A bunch of Hogans? But they're not even in his name anymore, remember? He sold it. He actually sold it. So we can't even have Hogans in our name. Wow.
Decade of trolls, daily streams, managing lives, and being hated in the only community you know. The answer is yes, because Phil has something almost no one else has.
Yes!
Look at this. He made a ring and everything. All right, now this is cool. He made an animated ring for this. This is neat. It's WWE Champions time, brother. Yeah! Come on! Drop the leg. Yeah! Come on! That's amazing that he put that in there like
Phil's
that.
plights were all worth it because of this Candy Crush, gotcha-designed phone game themed around the WWE, known as WWE Champions. It is important to note that Phil has refuted investing into this.
And he's sweating profusely, by the way. In the last two parts, where he watched, now that he's watching Champion, and when he watched the bankruptcy, sweating profusely.
This game to the extent people have claimed. Despite a mountain of very strong evidence, he has room to dismiss it because there is no smoking gun. Phil has a history of playing other mobile games themed around the WWE, and was not shy to spend money on microtransactions to get an advantage.
Yep.
However, on WWE Champions, there is an account that has seen some tremendous climbing in the leaderboards that would be impossible without microtransactions. This account's name was They Call Me DSP.
So, something we got factual by him admitting to being down from the rafters is he spent, as it says here,
WWE Champions, there is an account that has seen some tremendous climbing in the leaderboards that would be impossible with
at least 40,000. At least 40,000. And this was when he was begging like a dog. Like a dog. 40,000 just to get to VIP tier 13.
This account's name was They Call Me DSP. Phil's Twitter handle is also They Call Me DSP.
Okay, so I'm gonna let this play out. I'm gonna see all the stuff he has to say. I'm gonna play the whole segment. I want to hear it all. I'm not gonna react. You might see me nodding or whatever, reacting. I'm just gonna let it play. And when the segment is done, I'm gonna pause and then I'm gonna say what I have to say. Okay?
Phil has a history of using that username in other apps like Pokemon Go, and Phil in the past has admitted to playing.
WWE Champions is a game that plays a lot like
Here's the thing I think he might have been doing. He might have waited to see if there's enough evidence that make him look really, really guilty and then admit to being down from the rafters. Cause if there wasn't anything definitive, or it was all a bunch of like circumstantial stuff that is a big stretch and a reach, and people are just trying to twist stuff to make it look like it's him, he would just not admit it. And he would say, well, look at this. None of this says it's me.
Candy Crush, of all games. Or what's the other one? Bejeweled. It plays like those two games with wrestlers. And honestly, the game cheats and is not very good. But I just play it because it has wrestlers in it.
What detractors seek to prove is that the account They Call Me DSP is indeed Dark Side Phil. If they can attach this account to Phil, then that alone proves that Phil spent tens of thousands of dollars on this game. This is where TJ Gamebox comes in, a person that plays the same mobile game. he was dragged into this mess through unscrupulous threats.
We're playing WWE Champions, and we're part of a guild called Xena. And the guild, unfortunately, was joined by a person that was named They Call Me DSP. The second that he was in my guild, a lot of people in my guild were threatened to be doxxed by detractors for having him in the guild because they didn't want us to go ahead and give him any prominence in the game.
It was clear that detractors were keeping tabs on the They Call Me DSP account, and they were following this account through various guilds, threatening guild members in-game. Other guilds, like TJ's guild, would adhere to the detractor demands and remove They Call Me DSP. It is also important to note that besides Phil claiming that he does not own the account, attempts have been made to reach out to the They Call Me DSP account to see if the owner could somehow prove that they were not DSP. The owner was not cooperative, which gives more fuel to the theory. As for TJ, having some prior knowledge of Phil became interested in this investigation.
So I went further into it. I decided to keep track of money, keep track of tabs, keep track of when he's online. When I would find that he was online whenever DSP was offline. And whenever he was online streaming, that account was offline.
The thing is, with higher
ironically, it is still happening. It's still happening.
Spenders or those more invested in games, guilds, clans, whatever it may be, drift off their game and use third-party software to communicate with one another. This, in most cases, is Discord, but in other cases it can be apps like WhatsApp, which is primarily used for communication. There is also the Line app, which serves a similar function. And as it so happens, one of the guilds They Call Me DSP joined was using the Line app.
When I noticed he joined one of the guilds, there was a part where he could be part of the Line app. It says Line app was used for communication. So I did a little bit of digging and found that if you connected his phone number, because this phone number is public, onto the Line app, it popped up with They Call Me DSP.
This is a strong form of verification. You type in your number, then the app sends a message with a code to that number. This is rather straightforward because though numbers can be duped with outgoing messages, messaging the number back will result in reaching the actual number and not any spoofed one. Forgetting about the need of phone verification, Phil initially dismissed it as a troll with creating a Line account under They Call Me DSP.
Sounds like someone made an account in my name to try to fucking screw me over, just like Discords and everything else that's happened this year. I know nothing about it, but it sounds like you're a conspiracy theorist, doesn't it?
A viewer then informs Phil that his number is tied to the Line app account, to where Phil changes his tune.
You're a conspiracy theorist, buddy.
SMS message when you download the app, the troll has access to your text messaging. I'd contact the authorities if I were you.
What? What a fucking idiot. And this is just him watching himself lie. This is like the Amber Lynn video. Reacting to me lying. The fucking epic video, by the way, is this. Reacting to me lying. Just literally this. Now he watches it and he smirks and he laughs and he's sweaty as fuck because he knows he lied about all of this.
I'm just, seriously.
What an admirable guy.
One of these app companies just thinking that you are using a phone number that you're not, right? Or there's no possible way that in the 6 years since my cell phone's been doxxed that I changed my number, right? No way possible that I would have possibly done that, right?
Phil claims two things. Firstly, that it may be possible to fool a company through a spoofed number, which it is not. The second is Phil introducing the potential that he changed his number during this time, which was countered by someone calling Phil's number and getting this.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Phil Burnell.
Not only that, when ranting about John Rambo, he slips up.
I have nothing to make amends for with Rambo. I never mistreated the guy. The guy was always told me that he was happy when we were doing work together and everything. He's the one who cut off contact with me and lied to me saying everything was all right, but then stopped talking to me and then made a negative video about me later. He would have to reach out to me. I am the one who still has the same phone number. Felted.
Oh my god, this is so cringe.
Humbled. That's right, it's him. It's the guy. It's him all along.
But it was him. It actually is him. Why are we getting this clown show for? Like 20 minutes later, he's gonna admit it's him. Just straight up, just admit.
Fucking owned. Yes. All right, let's continue. I'm not gonna say a word. I had to react to that, but let's continue. I'm the one who, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the guy who's still easily reachable.
What this proves is Phil has a line account, and also another item to stack on the massive pile of Phil's lies. But again, Phil could run with the narrative that just because he has a line account that is also under the Call Me DSP, that doesn't prove that he plays WWE champions. And so the investigation continues and lands on a different third party, Discord.
So I have sources of him joining and being kicked out of my guild. I have sources of him being in another WWE Champions Discord and me talking to him.
This is significantly more promising than the Line app, because unlike the Line app, They Call Me DSP's Discord is clearly seen interacting with TJ's guild. And while anyone could choose whatever name they please on Discord, all accounts had to have a unique code attached to them. And thanks to a bot archiving the people that left the Discord, that not only shows the name, but also unique Discord ID, which is 4058.
You know, if only I was tech savvy. If only I were tech savvy, maybe I would have got away with it.
Again.
At the time,
Again, we're just lying.
Discord, and a rogue mod just happened to leak Phil's unique.
Oh, if only he was tech savvy.
4058.
He could be. Nobody is really born tech savvy. You just learn this stuff. He just refuses to learn them. And then he learns how to make a call in Discord and he brags about it for 6 months. Because the standards for him are just this low. A guy who's been doing this for a living for 15, 16 years.
Clear, what Phil now relies on is trying to state that the evidence itself is illegitimate. Somehow, one way or another, some image is altered, and of course, they never used Discord for those purposes.
The only time I ever used Discord was to chat with people back when I had a partnership with Twitch and stuff like that. I had a contact who I chatted to in Discord. But outside of that, I've never used it for anything else. I don't even know what Line App is. I guess it's just chat. I don't know. Maybe
he knew what Line App was.
No idea.
At this point, one can reasonably deduce that They Call Me DSP is Phil. Though Phil claims what should be definitive evidence is false, and relies on his minuscule credibility to sway his audience.
You know, if it weren't for those pesky kids and that really annoying dog, I could have just left the mask on and I could have been the freaking bog monster, right? But no. No. You had to actually use technology to thwart the evil king. How dare you? How dare you? Let's continue.
And so the investigation continues to find something more definitive that Phil cannot excuse as false.
It's really funny that he's trying to make this seem like a joke when he is actually just sincere about it. If only people didn't follow him and actually prove that it was him, he would have gotten away with it. Yeah, he actually would have. Good job to everybody that was on his ass and was looking for the truth. And then eventually they found it. They cornered him so bad that he himself, a lying, raging narcissist, had to admit that they were right. And they were actually smart and outsmarted him. This doesn't happen every day.
This is where the bankruptcy documents come into play. His expenses are most pertinent. On page 32 of his bankruptcy petition, these personal expenses are itemized between him and his wife. His monthly expenses...
Hold on, how long? Oh, we're halfway through? Because I'm trying to see how long the segment is. Because remember, I'm going to let the whole segment play.
Come around to $5,100. His mortgage and tax payment plan make up for nearly half of his personal expenses. There's nothing eyebrow-raising here. But then you look on Form 122A, the monthly business income and expenses. Here you find something entirely different. On page 4, it shows what Phil's income for the months of July, August, September, October, November, and December of 2019 were. He never made under $8,000, and in just these 6 months made
and he's sweating more.
But did he really? In this form, he listed his business expenses, which are separate from personal expenses. Expenses meant to only be related to his content creation job. These expenses are...
Yep, this is the bankruptcy fraud part.
$5,400 for August, $3,100 for September, $4,400 for October, $4,300 for November, and $4,900 for December. In July alone, he claims to have lost $867 from his streaming job somehow. And because these do not have to be itemized, as the only purpose of this form is to make sure you're not making enough money to reasonably pay off your debts, means Phil does not have to explain how a job, with virtually no overhead, where at most his expenses should be limited to purchasing games, is costing him thousands of dollars a month. What's more, on his bankruptcy petition on page 14 of 50, he claims to only have $1,500 in business assets. So as the courts would see it, these expenses would have to go into services. It is understood that Phil doesn't pay his mods. On the contrary, his mods pay him. He asks viewers to pay for his games. He doesn't use any services for his business that would charge those thousands of dollars. And so this leaves many to believe this is how Phil hides his WWE Champions transactions, labeling them as business expenses. Which, if Phil can play to the government's ignorance of his content creation job so long as they see it as profitable, then perhaps Phil can also do this on his taxes. And so, what does Phil have in response to these official documents? When I asked him, quote, do you believe it's incorrect/possible that you spent solely that much on your business for those months?
Now keep in mind, I'm going to tell you everything, so, okay? I'm going to tell you everything, so, well, I don't even remember what I said, but it's probably not my response for tonight, right? But here we go.
He responded with, it's not just possible.
What kind of a weird thing to say?
My attorney submitted, and that's what was reviewed and approved in the bankruptcy case. But specifics I can never talk about because 1, I didn't do those calculations. The attorney did, so I honestly have no idea what they actually include. And number 2,
he has no idea.
Talk about any expenses.
Just straight up throwing Rochelle under the bus. I got no idea what this money even is for. I have no idea. I didn't do the calculations, even though I'm the person who got the money and I'm the person who spent the money. Me personally.
No, or business-wise regardless. It's literally nobody's business besides the bankruptcy court. Unquote. Phil refused to itemize his expenses, citing both his ignorance of them and the privacy around them. There are also clear discrepancies on the filings. On page 12 of 50 in the bankruptcy petition, the box is checked that he doesn't own any non-farm.
And again, he only admitted to this because the evidence was overwhelming, and he knew that hundreds of thousands, potentially more than 1 million people are going to see this. So, and this is the only reason why. He didn't do it when Secret Limited made the video because he knew that that video, it could get a 100,000 views, maybe a couple hundred more, but it's from a troll. And the trolls are biased and they never tell the truth, obviously. But Joon the King, you can't go against the king.
Animals, but he owns his cat, Jasper. There is also speculation on the valuation of his Washington condo, as on page 1150, it states it is valued at $379,000 according to Zillow. These smaller items made people ever more speculative of Phil and the WWE account that vanished. They Call Me DSP disappeared from the game, but there was an account that had similar stats.
They Call Me DSP, to the Gun Show 87, to now Down from the Rafters, which, by the way, you cannot use the name Down from the Rafters in WWE Champions because the name is too big to use. So that means it was changed by a bot. It was changed by Scrollplay.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. DJ was right all along.
As the account stated, this will be the last time they would try to change their name, as it was clear that they could not hide from the trolls that follow them, thinking that they are, quote, some idiot video game streamer that they hate, unquote.
Now that is true. This is one of the things he didn't lie about. He is some video game streamer who's an idiot and people hate him. So Phil tells the truth for once in this whole segment.
By 2020, Phil was adamant that he had quit all mobile games. Not even just recently, but all the way back in 2018.
In 2018, I quit all mobile games. I don't play them anymore. I got rid of them. I said, I'd rather focus time on important stuff with my family and stuff. I don't waste time. They're all, I keep telling you guys this. Mobile games are money sinks. You'll put money into it, you put time into it and money into it, and you don't get anything really out of it unless you're constantly keep playing and sinking more money into it. That's the truth of the matter. Quit all those mobile games because they were just pay to win. It got to the point where they're really fun to play at first, and then you realize you can't actually progress unless you drop money to get all the new cards.
Far more.
I'm not surprised this is like the longest segment or close to it. Okay.
More captivating at the
because you lied so much.
Bankruptcy proceedings.
Yeah, because he's so full of shit.
Philip Burnell. This is Rochelle Sheffield for the debtor, and Philip Burnell is with me.
He's in your office with you?
Yes.
Hey, Mr. Burnell, you there?
I am present.
Yeah.
I am present.
It was from a 341 meeting. In this meeting, the debtor, Phil Burnell, is accompanied by his trustee. A basic rundown of this meeting is to catch discrepancies within the bankruptcy filings. Creditors are expected to, but often don't attend. This call took place during COVID. Many facilities were closed, and the online space was looked upon as the temporary replacement, a place where Phil's trolls lived.
Nancy?
Yes.
Sorry, there's 60 people on the line for this call, so I think that's the problem.
Okay.
A reason so many were invested in this call, some even live streaming it, was to see if Phil's inexplicable business expenses would be questioned.
What is WWE Network?
WWE Network.
That is just an on-demand video service for watching, pro.
Oh, he was shitting bricks.
Many.
And now knowing that he actually did it, that call also has aged beautifully well. So many segments stemming from this admission have aged amazing, including the interview, including this call, including every single segment that he used to debunk the trolls and call them idiots and morons and tell them that they knew nothing about anything. All of that. It's so rewatchable.
Of that question, thought that was the moment Phil was caught. But it was just the service that was being asked about.
You've provided me a copy of your PayPal account for 1 month. I would like to see the last 6 months of both of your PayPal statements.
Oh no, it's gonna happen.
This also turned out to be...
And it could have been, and it probably was, pretty easy for him to conceal the whole spending, even if there was a shit ton of iTunes microtransactions, because he could just say he used it for a video game that he was playing on stream, because the game, it was necessary for him to continue playing it, to invest money in it or whatever. Because those people are never going to look it up. They're not going to look up the DSP channel and look up if he played that specific game and if he spent money on it. All he needed to do is just say it, and those boomers would be just like, oh yeah, whatever. I guess that's the life and times of a YouTube Let's Player. I don't know.
False positive. But again, hopes were up when Phil was asked to explain his business expenses.
What do you consider a business expense?
Yeah, you're full of shit if during a bankruptcy call, a bankruptcy meeting, they have to ask you, what do you consider a business expense?
Anything relating, to the business per the instruction of my tax attorney.
And again, we immediately throw her under the bus. The tax attorney told me that's a business expense. You don't know what's a business expense? Is it a business expense when you buy yourself an Xbox and you just use it in your living room to play video games and watch Netflix on? For example, I'm not saying DSP did that, but you can't tell what's a business expense. You can't tell what money that you invest goes into your business and for the production of content creation.
Oh, okay. The cost of a video game, the cost of a subscription for a video game, a microtransaction within a video game, the cost of a piece of new equipment, maintenance on set equipment every month. It could be the internet, cost of internet every month. It could be cost of utilities necessary for the business, cost of cell phone for the business.
Oh my god.
This was dismissed rather easily, likely through the ignorance of the attendees. But if anything, it did prove that Phil knew how his business expenses were calculated, making people more curious about what they could be now that he couldn't dismiss the expenses as being ignorant of them. And then the meeting was turned to the quote-unquote creditors.
Okay, I have no further questions. Are there creditors on the line?
There were no real creditors on the line, for the record. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, are you a creditor?
There was only one person willing to confront Phil. It was a troll concealed as a creditor from Citibank who had one burning question.
A stealthy troll.
Filing. It looks like you stated here that you have about $5,000 a month in business expenses. Can you itemize that for me?
Hold on.
That might have been the guy who actually streamed the whole thing.
What followed was a few seconds of silence. Phil was likely in conversation with his trustee.
Would have been amazing fun if it was Fred Fucks. Imagine if Fred Fucks joined the call. That would have been so funny.
Back with this.
Nancy, I'm not sure this person.
Yeah, and immediately as this guy asked the question, DSP just muted the call and was like, oh my god, this is one of my trolls. I told you they're gonna find us.
It's for Citibank.
I'm sorry, excuse me?
While the troll continued to masquerade as a representative of Citibank, through his persistence that Phil was attempting to distract from the question, there was issue with his question. With the meeting looking at the Schedule J form, the questions were pertaining to Phil's personal expenses. This is a personal bankruptcy. His business was only glanced over, with the attendees satisfied with Phil's as a solid, esoteric explanations. And so they referred him to his personal expenses, which were already broken down.
That's a very good way to put it. It's esoteric explanations. Because it's like, you can only know about this microtransaction shit if you actually know stuff about the essence of his business. And those people didn't, so he can tell them just whatever. He can just straight up tell them that WWE Network was for the business because he was reacting to WWE shows on his channel. He could have done that if he wanted.
Ended with just one more outburst from a troll.
Why am I poisoned? Why am I toxic?
Yeah, his head exploded. His head exploded. That's great.
This meeting, in terms of wanting to expose Phil, was a failure. Phil's bankruptcy case was closed, and he surrendered his Connecticut condo and remained streaming.
Is this the end of the segment? Well, let's see.
Though it did show there was an additional consequence of Phil's long-standing internet presence and infamy. The children that may have watched him in 2010 and grew to hate him over time have aged and become adults who are more proficient in all things, like trolling and archiving. Archiving, like creating...
Oh, so is that it? Or is he going on to the next segment? Oh no, Vest Streak is next, so let's keep going. He's not done yet.
Graphs meant to keep track of Phil's expenses.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna skip through the Vest Streak. You already know all about that.
These appear rudimentary. Even so, the visualization of this data makes it clear-cut that Phil's earnings are on the rise. It was long thought that his channel would fade out, but year after year it's been persistent. This is where a different archiving tool helps. PigPigGo is...
Yes! Shout out PigPigGo.
We're in the Vest Streak now. They're going to start talking about what I made during the Vest Streak, I think. I think that's what we're at now. I think so. I think that's it. All right.
The log of tens of thousands of videos. The way it works is you put in a phrase. This searches Phil's YouTube transcripts and lists them in order by date. You can also search within a specific date and visualize the usage of a word through the trend option. And if we type in vest with a space on both sides...
Okay, vest. All right. He's on to the Vest Streak. So now we're done with that. So now it's time for me to respond to the entire thing, okay? And this will be the end of tonight, actually. I think this will be good to end the stream tonight. And then we'll continue with the Vest Streak tomorrow to finish it, okay? So, here, let's go back. I want to go back to the ring. The ring was epic that he started with.
Anyways, yeah, here's where he admits, and I watched this whole thing on Friday. So let's just get a quick taste.
For the first time...
Big Ups Ames 32 says, I'm the dog. Call me Doobie-Doo. I'm sure you like your Scooby snacks as well.
Right now here tonight.
And you smoke harder than Shaggy.
And you can't take it, and you want to leave, and you're...
Blah, 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 blah. I am down from the rest.
Yes, the They Call Me DSP account in WWE Champions is my account, okay? That's mission number one. It is. It always was, okay? Now, it was very stupid of me to name it They Call Me DSP.
And blah, blah, blah. Let's see how much else we can cover. Because this is the whole part here, and then we move on to the last part. So let's move on to the last part. See what we're gonna get on part 4 of the documentary of the dark side of the Phil. And we can start off here. So this is the Vest Streak. I'm gonna skip the opening because this shit, I've seen this like a million times.
What they do. And they make the money, too. Like, it's insane. Like, wow. They just pull stunts constantly on a stream, and then people will toss money their way for pulling a crazy stunt.
As combative as Phil was with wearing the vest for jest, the continued request to wear it and the potential of earnings was too great, and he began to cave in.
Yes, I will tell you guys, I will put on the vest if we hit the tips goal for tonight. There you go. It seems to be a new running thing that people want me to put on the vest. So, yes. Was that, what was that? Morrowind? I think that was Morrowind. That wasn't Oblivion, was it? That was Morrowind, I think. I received a $5 tip.
Oh, man.
Just to be silly. But it's not going to be something that happens.
I'm going to skip through to this next part here.
Blah, 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 right?
Wait, what?
Great. streak almost ended in the month of July. Phil expressed his concern of it both in and outside his stream.
I can't go late. I wasn't kidding. Like, I'm done. The game is over, and it looks like the vet streak's over. So I don't know why people were like, if people were holding tips or whatever tonight.
Withholding tips. It's one of the best clips ever.
While viewers have
Paper Mario, I guess no one liked the game. I thought it was a good game, but whatever.
pulled through a few times to rescue the best streak, the difference in donations was too great and unrealistic for anyone to save it this time.
But yeah, like I was hoping to keep the vet streak going so that I could actually afford both new consoles and everything, and now it's over. So, wait, what?
While Phil prolonged,
I couldn't hear what I said, so I could afford consoles? What was wrong with the audio right there?
It's just a bad clip, man. Yes.
Fucking the audio up? How dumb was that?
Yeah.
I couldn't even hear it. Blah, 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 right?
on to stream a few more minutes. And
oh, both new consoles, because we were talking about both the PlayStation 5 and buying the Xbox Series X. Gotcha. Okay, thank you for clarifying. I didn't remember what I was saying at all. Okay.
No donator swooped in.
You could hear it fine. It sounded way echo coming through my TV. It really did.
With a large sum to save the vest streak, and it died on day 276. Phil knew that it had...
Okay, so here's a quick correction. It was streamed 276, not as many days.
Had to die eventually. Yet it was greatly...
Joon the King caught lying, exposed for lying.
...quick to try to find a different trend.
Now, my wife had a crazy suggestion. All right? I know people are immediately gonna jump on this, but... because it's fucking stupid and embarrassing. But
yeah. My dumb wife, my bitch wife had such a fucking dumbass suggestion.
Here's what you should do. You guys ready for this? This is her 100%. This was her suggestion. All right, you ready? I don't remember this. Oh no, not the chair.
Spinning in his chair as a reward did not catch on. Phil just kept the articles of clothing as standard reward for the tip's goal.
It was so
Yet
stupid.
with the streak gone, so was all the hype, and Phil's earnings dipped once more.
Yep.
Taking this opportunity, detractors paid a mix of internet figures and wrestlers to make cameos.
All right, Darkside Phil. It's Kevin Nash.
Yeah, this rocks the Kevin Nash.
I've never seen any of these, so this will be fun. I've never seen any of these before.
And I've fucking read some disturbing things in my life, but Jesus Christ, I mean, you spent $40,000 on a WWE Championship mobile game, went into bankruptcy for half a mil. You play video games all day long while your wife works her ass off. You masturbated on YouTube. They wanted to process.
This is all completely in proper context. I love it because these cameos are so hilarious. These people will just say anything. So you just tell them what to say. They'll just say it. They don't care. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Just look at him. He's literally leaning back in his chair. Do you think he gives two fucks about what he's saying right now? Dude, this is him making bank for some moron throwing him money to say something that I literally didn't even see until this very moment. What a waste of fucking time. This fucking idiot who paid.
Again, the huge narcissism. The huge narcissism. He thinks everything his trolls do is intended to be seen by him. They all do it because they want his attention. Which sometimes they do, and sometimes they want to get him triggered, but most of the time just isn't. And this is a case where it isn't. I guess the guy who paid for it, he got his money's worth because that's exactly what he wanted to get out of it. To get Kevin Nash to say a bunch of funny shit about DSP. And now DSP even gave it more value because he watched it.
For this, it's great. But you know what? Kevin Nash is cool. So I'm happy that he made some money.
Prosecute you, but they said your penis was so small they couldn't actually. So they couldn't tell whether you were masturbating or playing with a fucking skin tag.
Dude, you hear him? He's drunk. He's drunk doing this. I never heard this before. He's drunk as shit making this, dude. He doesn't care. Some people are saying maybe pain pills. Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's had ridiculous problems with his legs and his back his whole life. He's so big, so tall. So maybe that's the case. You're right.
When I got your dossier from the fucking almighty fucking Egg Gang.
Almighty Egg Gang, shout out.
This is somebody who needs some fucking serious fucking help.
Darkside Phil, what the fuck is your problem, dude?
Who's this? Is this Blue Meanie? I'm just curious. Is that Blue Meanie?
I got no clue.
Fuck do you?
Who is this actually?
A great business degree, dude, and you're a fucking $500,000 in debt. What a fucking idiot. Valedictorian of what? Fucking Muppet fucking thief.
Someone said that's Sandman? Is that Sandman?
Oh yeah, for real, that's Sandman.
Sandman anymore? Is that Sandman? Holy shit! Or is it Blue Meanie? I can't tell.
Peter, you moron.
Darkside Phil doesn't understand.
Hey, it's Coach.
What? This guy? Oh, what the fuck's this guy's name?
Jonathan Coachman, yeah.
Seriously? They paid Coachman to do it? Why did they pay Coachman to do it?
And again, first thing we think about is money. Oh, he got paid to do this? This guy is obsessed with money. Like, all he thinks about is money. That's why I think is super ironic, and what makes his life his own personal hell is that he can never get enough. He's obsessed with money, and he can never get as much money as he actually wants.
I can see wrestlers.
This is the best.
Jonathan Coachman to do one of these videos?
And the
want to talk about a waste of time and money.
depths to which he has sunk. So first and foremost, spending 40 grand on WWE Champions mobile game? At least gamble it away. But on the mobile game, embarrassing. And the fact that because you sit around the house and you allow your wife to
listen to him to ham it up so hard. He's hamming it up so hard for this too.
Yeah, he's cutting a promo. That's kind of the idea. That's why they paid wrestlers to do it, because they can cut a promo on him.
Because he doesn't understand. He thinks this is an inside joke, and this guy Darkside Phil will really like the video. I've never seen it. I'm only seeing it right now because these idiots made it for themselves to circle jerk each other off. They knew I was never going to see it. Why would I watch it, right?
work while you're playing video games and you're going 500 grand, 500 large in debt? Embarrassing.
It is important to remember that
It was exactly the same as what Nash said. So basically, they gave the same script to all these guys and paid them like hundreds of bucks to do it too.
both his detractors and fans would be willing to spend money on either side. His fans in particular could be considered the most generous on Twitch.
But I would say about
What's funny about that though is, no, the truth is that it's not all of my fans. It's like there was a few big donators. Like he had,
so Wales.
I had like 200 of tier 3 subs on.
But that makes it worse. That makes it worse. That means you don't have an organic, positive community that supports you and gives you a lot of money, and you got just a couple of people. Which, it makes you look bad. Why would you point this out?
So one person comes in and says, I want to help out, and he dumps like hundreds of tier 3 subs, and I make like 10 grand, right? I think that's what it was. It was something ridiculous. I can't remember how much the tier 3 subs cost at the time on Twitch, but it was ridiculous. I made thousands of dollars on that. So then they do the math, and they're like, oh, so every person who watches Phil gives him $35. Oh, there's a couple people who came in and dropped a ton that skewed that number. The common person who comes to watch me is either a small contributor or doesn't contribute at all and just enjoys the content. And I'm happy with that. I'm totally 100% happy with that. Being honest with all of you. You guys are just here to hang out and have a good time with me.
He's happy with that until the tips goal can be hit. And then we're like, oh man, if only you guys can give me $1. If each of you gave me $1, I would have a lot of dollars.
I'm totally okay with that. If you can contribute because you like the content and you don't mind how I spend my money, go ahead and contribute. But it's silly to say, oh, you see, everyone's giving $35. Oh, that's completely incorrect, actually.
No, he's not. Nobody's trying to say that.
Then you do the over.
Has he heard about? Well, he has a finance background, so he knows what an average would mean. He definitely knows what an average of a number would mean. But we're just clowning it up because it's deflections all over the place, man. Deflections all over the place, nonstop, 24/7.
150 people here in climbing tonight as we get to the better end parts here. Thanks for 132 likes. If you're liking the stream tonight, please 50,000 views, which, no exaggeration, is probably between $25 to $100 in ad revenue. Okay, it paid for the meal. By the time that I was continuing DSP tries it so many years, I was getting like 2,000 views on a video. It was maybe $5, and the meal was 15. You know what I mean? So it didn't even make sense that there was no feasibility to doing the show. It wasn't a part of content that made any sense.
Okay, so just straight up admitting he only did a food review show because it was giving him money. And the moment it stopped, he just stopped doing it. Well, okay. Sure, man. That's a really cool way of thinking about your channel and your business. Because it's like, especially a business that's based on entertaining people. I'm going to stop entertaining people in this way, even though there's a portion of my audience that really likes it, because it's just not financially viable for me, because I'm losing on $10 every time. even though I'm making thousands off of other stuff.
I became a full-time live streamer. Why on earth am I
Money over everything. That's why we are where we are. Because it's money over everything.
doing it, regularly solely on the fact that there's the entire, fast food is unhealthy for you, and I'm old. I'm getting older. I can't be eating that shit all the time. Okay? Okay. Thank you.
$800.
That was ex-viewer PW Dubs estimating how much he donated to Phil. But why would he donate so much?
I never get tipped to help him out. The reason I tipped really was just to try to get a reaction out of him.
With PW Dubs continually attempting to get a rise out of Phil, bans were common. But because he was donating, so were unbans.
Over time,
I don't even remember that. I banned him a lot. I don't remember that. A lot of he was one of the people who was contributing, and my detractors went after him. Remember? My detractors were attacking him and trying to dox him and shit. I don't ever remember having an issue where I had to keep banning him. Maybe at the end. I actually don't remember. If you want to know the truth, I actually don't remember. So let's see. Maybe Joon has the info because I don't. I really don't remember.
I would say things that sometimes get me banned, but eventually I just send an email and I'll get unbanned.
Yeah, like everybody else. Seriously, like almost everyone else, it was the same thing. People would act stupid, then they would apologize, and I would unban them. If he's insinuating it's because he contributed, that's not the case. There's been tons of people who say shit, and I unban them whenever they ask, as long as they say they don't want to do it again. All right?
And then they do it again. There's some people that have been banned like 4 times.
He's trying to say it was only because he gave money. That's not true at all. John has done a super chat. All right, so thank you for that, John. I'm curious.
How much longer does this go? Because then we go, okay, yeah, we got a bunch. Wow.
Intent to troll Phil.
Then the interview. Okay, I'm gonna start speed running through this because I got about half an hour left. What do we got here? Here is, oh yeah, we talking shit about people in the Discord leaks. Let's talk about this.
This is not doxing. It's a censored document. Who? At all.
Oh, and okay. Okay, let's just for the sake of semantics, look up what doxing means. Doxing refers to the collection of a user's private information across multiple platforms, including social media, by an unauthorized individual who then publishes the information in an attempt to shame or embarrass the user. This is pretty much the way that I interpret this definition. This is doxing. He took this guy's fucking ID, his driver's license, and he posted it in a place that his driver's license doesn't belong. And the guy whose driver's license was sent to DSP didn't know that this was going to get posted here.
Marking, quote, I mean, Jesus, why are we even at this point? I don't want to card my fucking stream chatters, unquote. The few moderators that responded shared in this confusing sentiment. But Phil posting this license, even though it was somewhat censored through PW Dubs, meant that he had doxed him.
Wrong. I didn't dox him at all. He censored all the information people didn't know. We already knew his name. We already knew his date of birth. He'd already told everyone his birthday, and we knew.
How do we know his name? How did we know his name? Is his name publicly available, or he once said it in a stream chat of DSP at like 3 a.m.?
He lived. He already had put that information out there on the internet.
Where?
We all knew that from his discussions and things in my chat. He sent me the censored license so the information nobody knew would not be put out. You see? This is not a dox at all. At all, in any way, shape, or form. Sorry, Joon. This is completely misinformation. This is not doxing. Doxing would have been if he actually sent me his uncensored license and I posted it somewhere public for everyone to see. That's a doxing. This is not doxing. It's a censored document.
Why would you still post somebody's driver's license in this?
That he censored himself. And the information that's not censored is already public. He already told everyone it in my chat. So that's absolutely ridiculous to say that this is a doxing. Absolutely not. All right? It's not. Sorry. There's no one who's going to give you the L or give you the W on that. That's bullshit. That's not doxing. Let's move on.
Phil had revealed his private information, though it was only to a small, uninterested group. With this information, a rat, well, more so a mouse, took note of Phil's transgression.
Yes, and by the way, for the record, this was all a setup. This was done. PW Dubs was egged on by Anonymous and detractors to do this. All right.
What?
Just so you know, because I find out about the shit after the fact. Now, do I have evidence? No, because I don't sit in the detractor discords and shit. But this was all plotted out ahead of time. Because I don't know if he's going to.
Well, if you want to make a claim like this, then you should have evidence.
But
obviously,
Anonymous was my second mod that catfished everyone, made everyone think that they were a fan of mine, just so that they could moderate for me for over a year and finally try to get me with a gotcha moment. We had already had a mod, which he didn't talk about this, okay? Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and go full screen to explain this story. We had a moderator by the name of Marl, that character from Chrono Trigger, okay? And
oh, this is getting sped up.
chatter in my chat for about 6 months, 7 months, all right, maybe a year, I'm not sure. And they were nice to everyone. Everyone was cool, Marl and everything. And Marl told everyone, hey, I'm a woman, and here's some stuff about me and stuff like that. And she befriended a lot of people in the community. Eventually, Marl offered to be a moderator of mine. And I was like, well, everyone seems to like you. I trust you. It wasn't because Marl was a contributor or anything. He was just a nice person. So I moderated them, okay? Now, moderators at that time actually had access to a lot of things involved with my Twitch. So for a year, I'm not kidding you, for a year, this moderator was moderating for me, and no one ever had an inkling there was anything wrong, okay? One night, in the middle of the night, one of my moderators sends me a frightened email, okay? And the email reads as thus. Just so you know, I went into your Nightbot, which we still use today as the chatbot, okay? Went to your Nightbot, and I found someone has gone in there and literally has changed all the commands. They're all things that are going to get you banned off of Twitch today. The moment you go live, if someone starts doing these commands, this is like awful shit. This is not only insults about you, there's racist shit. It's all in your bot, so you're going to get blamed for it. Like you programmed your bot to have all this racist stuff in it, okay? I'm like, wow, that's messed up. Well, let me take a look. And I looked, and lo and behold, it said it was Marl, my moderator, for a year who had done this. So it was discovered that Marl was a catfish, one of my detractors, who had pretended to be a fan for 7-8 months, befriended everyone in the community, became a moderator, got all access to all my shit, and was plotting this all along for a year. This Marl person had personal discussions with my other mods and people, that telling them all about their life and everything. It was all a lie. It was literally 100% fabricated to infiltrate my community and try to get me banned from Twitch. Think about how insane that is, okay? So that was time number 1. This time, this guy's name is Anonymous, okay? This guy is a chatter of mine for a while. I can't remember if he ever contributed or not. He might have, but he wasn't a giant contributor or anything like that. This guy, again, was a nice guy in chat, saying, you know, being good with the community, saying nice things. Let me put it this way. This guy, all right, was so nice to me. Over time, I did a playthrough that they had requested. They requested that I would play Night in the Woods, which I'd never really heard of. And I usually didn't play indie games. I did a whole playthrough of Night in the Woods because of this.
Oh my god, all this fucking useless bullshit information. Just to deflect from the fact that he was actively shit-talking his fans in his private Discord. And then he got exposed, and then it's somehow everybody else's fault. Because somebody lied about their information on the internet and pretended to be somebody else. Womp womp.
So, this person becomes a moderator of mine. They're in my moderator Discord, okay? Come to find out, this person hates me, and the reason we know this, they posted all this up on Kiwi Farms. I don't know if Joon will cover it. But basically, this person had a secret grudge against me for something I had said like 2-3 years earlier, all right? Something crazy, like not even like direct reference or anything to this person, but somehow it just rubbed them really the wrong way. I'm curious if Joon will cover it, because I don't really remember what it was. And they had a secret grudge against me for years. Years.
Okay, whatever.
And they actually worked with this PW Dubs guy to try to frame me to claim that
yeah, look at this. It's so fucking pathetic.
So that now I get in trouble. All right? Did I dox that fan? The person who sent me an edited license, who had only information.
You posted it to people that shouldn't have had it. Even if it's not considered by definition to be doxing, you can have a fucking debate about that. And on the semantics of doxing, it's still something you shouldn't have done. And definitely something you shouldn't make so many deflections and excuses and weird rationalizations about. Absolutely.
That was public already, showing on the license. It's pretty messed up. Oh, by the way, after this happened, they tried to put out a version of the license that wasn't the real one. They tried to put out a version of the license that I think had different information on it or something, to act like it actually was a doxing, when it was public information. The person's name we knew, where they lived we knew, and their date of birth we already knew. They'd already said all of that in my chat before. It's not a dox if you've already released that info and you're purposely editing the other info, right? Why else would this person have unsolicited sent me this license?
Why would you post it where a bunch of people that weren't supposed to see it saw it? Why would you even do that? Why actually do that? That's my question. I don't know why you would even do that.
And the only reason I presented it to my moderators, I'm like, is anyone getting shit like this? Because if so, we got to figure out what's going on and put an end to it. We can't be getting people's information like this. No one's asking for this, and this is just going to be trouble. It's 100% a special secret op from this guy to try to set me up. All right? So this is misrepresented to say, like, I doxed him. I didn't dox him. Sorry, Joon. We will have to agree to disagree on this. That's complete nonsense.
Oh, he's definitely going to hold Joon accountable when he is a guest on DSP's stream.
But he got doxed at all. If anything, if you want to know who the doxer was? Anonymous. Because he's the one that actually posted all this up later.
But you posted it in a place where you have a bunch of people that weren't supposed to see it. And any one of them could have just shared it somewhere.
So he's the one telling the whole internet about it. Like, you then are putting it out in the public. Not me. What are you talking about? Pretty messed up. Anyway. So, I received a $5 super chat. Hold on. $5 super chat from Papa Gino, who says, if someone dummy sent me a picture of their driver's license with redacted info, I would clown them. I would also clown on them for it. And the thing is, did you read the message? I'm not clowning on the guy. I'm disturbed. I'm like, why is he sending me this? This is legit scary. Now people are sending me like legal documents and shit. I don't want this. Like, what is happening here? And that's why I wanted to show my mods. And I knew that there was nothing on that license that was private info because it was already public, what we had already known about the person. That's what I mean. I was like, dude, what is going on here? Anyway, let's continue because I really hate, once again, this is very similar to me to the PC issue earlier, where I feel like this is a non-issue. It's just stupid shit. But somehow it got into the dock and is somehow, you know, fucking focused on here. Don't ask me why. So let's continue.
This rogue mod, known as Anonymous or Anony for short, was in talks with Kiwi Farm members to verify themselves and leak both the secret Discord chat logs and prove Phil had doxed PW dubs. But Phil was catching on. Now in 2021, this came to a head mid-March.
Like the Anonymous, they had the power in like Twitch chats, like change the title of his stream. So they like changed the title of when Phil was streaming. He changed the title to Darksydefield leaks. Darksydefield docs PW dubs. He made that the title.
Following this, and Anonymous's departure, Phil had to defend his doxing of PW dubs and his secret Discord.
So his question specifically is...
All right, let's see what we can cram into the next... I don't know, man. I think I'm just gonna let it play. Because there's just so much shit that I want to hear what DSP is gonna have to say about, that I'll just watch it next stream. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Otherwise, it's just gonna get too squished together. And I think I want to hear what he has to say about the bank leaks. I want to hear what he has to say about the Piece of Peace tips tracker. I want to hear what he has to say about a bunch of shit. Like Gamer J. Lee, his former fans, the interview. There's so much shit I want to hear his take on. So I'm just going to let it play. Big ups Redbird, who says, Phil's god is Benjamin Franklin. True money worship. Legit, man, legit. And like when you lock yourself into this mindset where money is like the biggest value in your life, you just lose your soul. You sell your soul for fucking tips and super chats. Oh my god. That's a thing that happens. And he's not the first guy to have this happen to him, but he just should have known better. Even if he's a finance major, that makes it even funnier. Be honest. Big ups Garrido for the $1. Him interpreting everything as an L or a W is so telling. Yeah, he just wants to make people on the internet lose. People that don't like him and just want to see him lose. But those people care more about the truth than actually winning. And that's why they are winning in the big picture. And also they are winning in the big picture because this guy has lost a long time ago. He is a fucking farm animal now. He's an animal that people exploit to get laughs at, to get fun out of, and to make like funny, creative shit on the internet about. And he is just himself, and he can't run away from that. He can't escape from that. He is bound to be this until he dies. And that's a worse punishment than actually losing against the trolls. And he's gonna shoot himself in the foot time and time again until the rest of time, just because he wants to win. Not knowing he's lost long ago.
You said no. Because it's my moderator Discord. It's none of anyone's business if I have something for my business behind the scenes running to be used for business purposes. The question was, do I have a public Discord? Do I have a Discord people can join and talk to me? No. I can have a private Discord if I want. I can have 10
sure.
Discords if I want.
Yeah, you can.
A fleet of 100 servers connected together, all with secret moderator Discords, and it's my prerogative to do that, and it's none of your fucking business.
Yeah, absolutely, but when you got like segments upon segments of him saying how he doesn't have a Discord, and if you say he has a Discord, you're an idiot, and then when confronted with this, he says, well, that was actually, I was talking about a private Discord. No, we weren't. No, nobody asked you if you have a private Discord or a secret Discord. They ask you if you have a Discord.
Why are you even care, and why are you asking me dumb questions? Mind your own...
Dumb questions?
because it has nothing to do with anyone watching the stream.
The doxing, the
and then when you get an aggressive, passionate response like this, it makes it seem like he's trying to deflect or having something to hide. Because anybody that doesn't have anything to hide, you can just say, yeah, I have a Discord. Yeah, I have a Discord for my mods. You can just say that. That's totally understandable and a normal thing that you can do as a YouTuber.
Discord and his treatment of Anonymous made its way to Reddit, where it was fast to gain traction. Anonymous, in his post, made sure to censor everything the driver's license had on it except the words driver's license. Phil admitted that he shared the license in a small moderator Discord, but used the small size of the Discord and the fact that PWDub censored some of it himself in his defense. Then came the argument that Phil did not share the censored version.
Oh, you see how Joon is addressing everything DSP said? That's very nice.
Using Anonymous's full censor against PWDub's partial censor. Even so, it was all a bad look for Phil. And not just Phil, but also Anonymous. In a place like Kiwi Farms, posts range from general observations, to memes, to full vitriol, all of which is typically welcome. To step foot in this space is to realize that everyone is a potential target. All elements of you can be criticized and brought forward for the sake of entertainment. Anonymous was no exception. Nigel UKIP was set on giving Anonymous a proper welcome by making fun of his appearance and his launch of his streaming career. This comes with the perspective some detractors across several communities hold that earning revenue online while existing in proximity to detractors is a sin, as some view Phil and other streamers like Wings of Redemption as chronic e-beggars who are constantly unappreciative of fan support and money, though most won't care and are just there for the entertainment. And when Baby Anonymous's alternative was noticed, that's all they got. The contents of this Twitter are highly disturbing and for that reason cannot and should not be shown.
Wow.
Diaper photos. That was crazy situation. They had it's like so much stuff in this vortex. It's crazy. It's like so many.
With Anonymous's image irrevocably defiled through his own means, he dropped off from the community entirely. As for what happened to Phil, practically nothing. This behavior was already expected from him. Besides, surprises don't come from...
This is hilarious. This behavior was expected from him. You mean the behavior where someone tried to set me up?
Oh, look at how defensive he gets. Hey, people expected him to be a piece of shit. And then he fucking spurgs out.
It looked like I did something far worse than what actually happened. And I reacted very rationally to it and said, this is stupid. It's not a big deal. Yeah, you're right. That's why nothing happened. You're absolutely correct. Because nothing happened. It's fucking stupid. This is only news to people who have the tiniest of fucking IQs and think that this is fucking important.
Oh, DSP implying he's high IQ. After admitting time and time again he got fooled and he got baited into doing stuff and he got exposed by people who he called for years, maybe even more than a decade. He called them everything. Mouth-drooling, idiot, moron, stupid idiots. And babies and children. And now he admits in the last 3 hours, he admits that they owned him and they fucking debunked him and they exposed him. Yeah, very high IQ, Burnell. High IQ is Mr. Bankruptcy. High IQ is Mr. Addicted to WWE Champions. That's high IQ. That's Mensa level. The Mensa candidate, Burnell. Valedictorian. 14 credit card high IQ.
Oh, look at that. There's some kind of a...
He's so high IQ, he didn't learn how to use Discord until 2024 when he was basically forced to do that. Otherwise, he couldn't talk to his friends. Very high IQ is the guy that gets a PC that somebody else bought for him and he doesn't even know how to turn it on. That's mega high IQ. Ultra high IQ.
Bitch. Only Iced Coffee just realized there's a glitch on Twitch. It wasn't a glitch. I remember what this was, but we're going to see it in a second. Dick Jones, thanks for 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate you supporting the community tonight. That's actually the first memberships of the night, so thank you, Dick. Okay. Everyone's subscriber crowns turned bronze for no reason. What the hell? Apparently, something just happened very bad is what happened, guys.
Oh no, what is that?
Bad just happened. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It literally just happened this moment. The subs are going away permanently. Apparently, they kicked me out of the partnership program, and I don't know why.
Oh no! How could this happen to Phil?
From his Twitch partnership was, according to Phil, because of the massive influx of reports of him using harmful language. Following this was the greatest weapon ever developed against Darkside Phil. Created by user Piece of Peace, the DSP tips tracker spreadsheet.
The greatest weapon ever developed. So Piece of Peace is basically a detractor Oppenheimer. That's fucking lit. That's so based. One day his creation is gonna turn against him. Somehow. I don't know how this can, but you know, it's Oppenheimer, man. He created a fucking bomb.
In Phil's daily earnings.
Shout out Pop.
Streams.
Oh, is that it? He's already moving on from that? Yeah. So if he is moving on from that, FYI, I found out later, and this is something that I can't provide evidence of. Okay, I can't. I wish I could, but this is some person who was insider in this situation provided me the evidence, and now I know what happened because that was 2021. So over 3 years ago, this happened. Okay, so in 2021, my detractors decided because they saw how culture was changing. Correct. You know, me, when I started on YouTube, culture was very different. Look at the jokes and shit that I was making back then. In 2021, everything was changing. Everything was, as people are saying, it went woke, correct? And because of that, what my detractors decided to do was put together a compilation reel package of some of the things that you could say that I said and did back in the past that were very risque and considered bad, right? I mean, we saw one of them where I got kicked off of Blip TV for that Dead Space 2 joke, correct? But there's many other examples of that from back in the day, okay? So literally what they did, they made a compilation of it in videos, in like folders, and they sent it en masse to the reporting places for the things that I was working with. So they sent it to Twitch TV, they sent it to all of the streaming services that I was using.
Interesting how he says they, when I'm pretty sure one guy could have done this. Legitimately one guy, that's all it would have taken. Just one guy, but now it's they. All of us did. I also participated as an engineer on the DSP cancellation document. I should be credited.
To take in contributions.
Everyone was there.
And have pop-ups come up. They sent it to Teespring, my merchandise store, all of this, okay? Now the funny part about all of this is, the stuff that they sent to them was ancient. This wasn't like, oh, Phil just did something bad in 2021, and this is what's being reported. It was actually like, you know, stuff from the past. But some of these companies, for example, Teespring, was well aware of who I was in the past, the kind of behavior that I had done. Teespring recruited me to work with them. I didn't even...
Bro, they did that to everybody. I get fucking emails from places like this. Me. Little mouth drooler, fucking effeminate man, me. I get emails from places like this. Hey, guy that makes fun of a different guy on the internet, come make merch with us. Legit, they don't give a fuck. If anything, it's just an automated email that everybody gets. Because they want more people to use their platform and make money for them. How are you so fucking gullible?
Have any intention of selling merch on Teespring? They contacted me and said, hey, we don't know who you are. We like your content. Let's get you in. They made a store for me. They actually made some of my very first merch ever in the Teespring store. Well knowing who I was in my past and all that.
It was just probably some template, random generated merch.
Now all of a sudden in 2021, all these companies all collectively decide at once to drop me. It wasn't just Twitch. It was Teespring. It was all these all at once. I'm sure that's a coincidence, right? So eventually, someone finally fessed.
What are they, all of these all at once? These two ones? Out of one of them, Teespring, pretty much I'm sure they dropped him because his store wasn't making any money.
Up.
Or it was inactive for too long.
I mean, I don't know if it's 100% true or not, but basically, they contacted me and they said, just so you know, I'm involved with this whole thing on Twitch. I'm one of the people who, like, reviews reporting. And here it is. Like,
yeah, this guy, like an hour ago in this video's timeline, admitted that he lied to his fans for 7 years. So I don't trust a word out of this. I'm gonna need some evidence, and he can't provide evidence, so womp womp. He's a liar.
A packet of stuff on you. And this was it. And basically, because all these businesses now are changing their mentalities on who they want on their streams, on their websites or whatever, you know, basically this got referred up the ladder. People looked at it in positions of power and said, oh, this guy he's not for our site anymore. Even though I wasn't doing that kind of behavior on stream at all anymore, they kicked me out for it. And it wasn't just them. It was Teespring and these other streaming services. They all did it at once. It's not some coincidence. It was 1 and 1. No, they all happened within like a 1 to 2 month period. They all kicked me out of their businesses for these detractors doing this. Okay, so that's what happened there with the Twitch. And after that, I still said, hey, I'll still try to stream on Twitch anyway. I just won't be partnered. And then since that didn't work, then my haters, my detractors, mass reported me for saying racial things I never said. Like I was playing.
But then why did you get kicked out if you actually didn't say them? Because I remember when he played Returnal and he dropped the N-word that he didn't intend on dropping, but he pronounced the word, he was suspended, and then the suspension was lifted. Therefore, somebody at Twitch looked at that and was like, yeah, okay, sure. He didn't mean to say it. And then they reinstated him.
What was Returnal? I was playing Returnal on PS5, and I got tongue-tied. I was like, blah, blah, blah. I said something, and they're like, oh, let's mass report him and say that he said the N-word. But I didn't say the N-word. But they mass reported me anyway, and Twitch is so dumb, they suspended my account. Then I appealed it. I said, are you out of your mind? I never would say that. And then they restored it like hours later, but already I lost my stream, lost revenue. And at that point I was like, so let me get this straight. You're going to deplatform me for things I did over 10 years ago, but you knew before you were okay with, but now all of a sudden you're not, okay? You're going to kick my stream offline and suspend me for things I'm not doing. I've had enough. You guys are unprofessional. And I left, and I've never taken a second glance at going back at Twitch. The only reason I would ever go back there is it was an emergency. For some reason, I couldn't do content on YouTube. I would go over there temporarily, but likely I would go to another website, whether it be Kick or who knows. I don't even know where else you could stream right now, but definitely it would be that. Like, I wouldn't want to be treated unprofessionally, And the other funny part about some of this is, like, for example, reaching out to these companies, you'll be like, so why did I get suspended? Well, for violation of our terms. Well, what did I do to violate it? Oh, we're not required to tell you. We actually don't have to tell you what you did. We just kicked you out. Too bad. So then how would I ever learn from my mistakes if you don't tell me what I did wrong? Well, we don't care. Oh, Twitch, that's exactly what Twitch said. They have no responsibility to tell me what I did wrong besides...
yeah, that's in your contract, quote unquote.
I think that's what they called it. Harmful speech or hateful speech.
Hateful slurs.
They called it. And basically, you can apply it for the partner program again in a year if you want. But I don't know what I said that violated your rules, and you won't even tell me. So anyway, that's what that was. He glossed over it, but I wanted to let you know how messed up these things have been for me over the years because of my detractors.
This included what game he played.
He glossed over it because there is absolutely no proof. I guess he could have said, well, Phil claims that it was his trolls that reported him. But then again, Phil claims a lot of stuff and then admits to lying about him. So what Phil claims that's not backed by any sort of evidence is kind of a waste of everybody's time. Big ups Mr. Extravagant, who says, my theory is that Anonymous is Kevin Styles. No, they're two different people. That's factually proven that they're two different people. Even though it would have been pretty funny. But Kevin Styles is also a horn dog. He's a pretty horny gentleman.
How much did he make on average? How did this compare to the average? It also included analysis on his Patreon, YouTube, and Twitch. Phil's excuses, poor spending habits, and as...
Oh, the anonymous guy in the interview. Oh, yeah, the anonymous fan. My bad. It could be, but I don't know. I actually don't know. Could be anybody. That's why he's anonymous. But if he was... If it was Kevin Styles, he would have just said it's Kevin Styles. Like, I don't see why not to just say, like, hey, it's me. Because he's on Twitter with his first name, last name, and, like, everything. So I don't know why hide.
As it were, e-begging would be challenged with evidence like never before.
Except none of this means anything.
It means a lot. This is everything that is publicly available for people to see that you get. It's just compiled in one place. That's all. We're not talking about how much you actually receive in your bank account at the end of the month. It's just tracking how much you receive on stream. In case you decide to lie about it, which he has multiple times. It means a lot.
Because when someone tips me, it doesn't mean that I get it. Just because I got a tip now doesn't mean it doesn't get charged back, doesn't mean that there's not a transaction fee or a currency conversion fee.
Sure, it's just an estimate, but still.
All of that exists. What they're doing is they're just looking at pure tips that I'm telling you I am getting. All right? So...
pure tips.
You know, it doesn't mean anything. All they're doing is taking the gross. So they think, you know, for example, all right? These last month and a half, 2 months that, well, actually it's been about a month and a half now. Not even. Actually, it's only been a month. Holy shit.
Also, there's no currency conversion fees. This is kind of a weird thing to say. What the fuck does that mean? No, the currency just get converted in a different currency.
I thought it was over longer than that, but it's only been about a month. I firmly believe that within the next couple of months, I'm going to start getting chargebacks for tips because, as you've seen, it's been great, but
What? We're pre-ordering chargebacks. This is great. He's gonna get the chargeback deluxe edition because he pre-ordered it. That's nice. He's gonna get all the DLC.
Behind the scenes all the time. I just don't bring them up. It happens all the time, and sometimes I combat them and I win, and sometimes I don't. But literally, what you see me getting on stream is not what I actually get.
Okay, this is not about what you actually get. It's what about we see you getting on stream. It's just compiled in one place and tracked. Just for cases like this, where he says, well, I think I'm gonna get a chargeback 10 minutes from now. So I'm broke again, you guys. Please tip me.
Okay? But there's a lot of factors involved. So they're tracking all of this, and of course, they're, once again, just like they do with the WWE champion spending, they're grossly over-exaggerating. They're just assuming every single contribution is real. They don't factor in cuts because, like, oh, we're tracking super chats. Dude, YouTube takes a lot out of super chats, okay? I don't get a full super chat, but they track it like it is. It's like, that's what I mean. It's complete.
You know how much you get, though. Why don't you just say it? Why don't you just say they get 70%? Well, you get 70% and they get 30. Why don't we just say that instead of, again, talking in abstracts?
Completely disingenuous. It's no one's business.
It's disingenuous, by the way,
begin with.
from this guy.
But the fact that they would so meticulously track this is so insane, right?
And as such became immediately useful.
I'll be playing Mass Effect 1 Remastered in a marathon setting.
Oh, the vintage, the audio style begging segments. I love those. Those are so much fun.
And my goal that day is to raise funds via tips or patron pledges to pay the bills that I need to pay this month because I am not going to be getting any payment for my Twitch partnership because they canceled it.
Phil, on May 6, nearly 2 weeks after being departnered, set on raising money to pay his bills now in fear that he won't be receiving his Twitch partnership money pre the departnering.
Yeah, because I didn't know what was going to happen. If you get departnered, does that mean they're going to pay me now? They're going to pay me later? The reason that this definitely, I was afraid, long story short, when I got deplatformed from YouTube, not deplatformed, excuse me, when my AdSense was disabled and suspended way back at the beginning of this documentary. Remember we talked about that happened? It got to say that's when I went to Blip TV in 2010. YouTube didn't pay me. They kept something like $13,000 when they said that I had violated their program. They just didn't pay me for it. So I'm thinking, dude, this same thing might happen with Twitch. And imagine that. I worked my butt off all month and earned all this money, and then they decide not to pay me for it. How am I going to pay for anything? I won't be able to pay any bills or anything. That's my money. That's a staple money to pay my stuff. So I was very much scared. Like, seriously, very scared that I wasn't going to be able to do anything for that month now because this had happened out of the blue. Okay? So, yeah. I mean, it sucks that here I am grifting. Here I am e-begging. But I'm doing it because this has happened out of nowhere.
Wow. Here I am grifting. Yes, I'm doing it. I am e-begging. But I'm doing it because my trolls made me do it. Stop making me e-beg.
Have gotten me kicked out of the partner program.
Yeah, man, go fuck yourself. Stop getting kicked out of places. Just be a good boy. Stop getting fucking suspended randomly constantly for talking too much shit. It's your business, right? Be more careful. What the fuck?
A source of income I needed, right? I received a $20 super chat from Tyler. Thank you so much, Tyler. I really, really appreciate that. He said, here's a tip for you, my lord. Well, it is a super chat, and it helps the channel. Tips goal, because that's tips going through PayPal.
Oh, this guy's very confused.
If you're trying to contribute to the King's streak, it has to be a PayPal tip, or you can find the description of this video. You'll see that link, or you can type !! tips in the chat, and that'll pop up there too. But that is a very generous contribution. Let's get you on the leaderboard for it. It is Tyler. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that, Tyler. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be on TBS today. Speaking of which, I pretty much have to go now. I legit have to go now to get set up for that. And yeah, well, that's it. Big ups to Movie Sign for the 5. The guy who lied for years, calling other people disingenuous. The comedy writes itself. Yeah, that's why you can never take a diss from him, because it's fucking DSPs. The guy who lies and then admits to lying and then gives you paragraphs when you actually challenge him. No, go fuck yourself, you fucking bum. Every time he claims something, should be backed up by factual evidence. Otherwise, we just assume he's lying. Guilty until proven innocent, because he made it like that. He did it like that. So go fuck yourself, buddy. And for you guys, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you again in 15 minutes. So, yeah, let me set up the forward so we can go there. And then that's gonna be it. And then I'm gonna be gone, and then I'm gonna be back. And then I'm gonna be gone again. And I don't know when the next stream is gonna happen, because during the week I'm pretty busy. It might be... I don't know. Legit, I don't know. So I'm not gonna overpromise and under-deliver. I'm just gonna under-deliver, as always. See you guys around. Big ups, and bye-bye.